we can save humans or we can save animals, what would you prefer?
I prefer to save the animals. You don't eat meat?
No.
You've never eaten meat in your entire life?
No. Yes.
I support killing animals. There are reasons to kill animals. There are also reasons to kill humans. You might look at me and think this vegan is not letting me off the hook.
I can become completely vegan, and I did so. After that, I fall ill. It took so long time to recover. Lots of people are there who are not that privileged. How can they achieve this? People flow in the emotion and don't realize the deficiency they may get. Why not go for a logical appeal?
What can you teach people in 1 minute, man? I would request of you to watch that video.
I can.
Hold on.
Please.
Yeah.
Interested in going vegan? Watch Arvind's full guide to being vegan in India.
Hey guys, welcome to the first episode of Face to Face with Arvind, and today our guest is Mr. Arpit from Arpit Explains. Welcome to the show, bro.
Thank you, Arvind, inviting me in the podcast. And I watched your video, and I think you are doing a very good work. I must say.
Thanks, man. Yeah. Thanks. Just to let people know, what we're going to do is, I have been accused in the past by some unfortunate people saying that I record videos. You must have seen some of my videos in classrooms and students' interactions. I say that I cut them and I misrepresent, I remove scenes and stuff. So just to let people know, we are in a studio right now and I am going to be recording with Arpit right here, everything. Nothing is going to be cut. Even if someone has to go out right now to go to the bathroom, it's not going to be cut.
Right.
So it'll be a complete fair representation that will be going up on YouTube, full podcast. So because I just want to make sure that both sides are very fairly represented, so you don't have to worry about that.
I also confirm if somebody has doubt that some part is being cut, so they can confirm also me, and I'm pretty much honest about it. If I didn't find any cut, I would say no, it's uncut.
Exactly, and you won't. See, the point is that that's the whole thing. It's an unfortunate thing that people keep mentioning this, so I just wanted to make sure the audience is aware about that. Now, one sad thing about me, and we already spoke on the phone about this, is that I don't speak Hindi. I am from Tamil Nadu. And you said you are most comfortable in Hindi.
Yes.
So you also mentioned that English is obviously fine for you, understand what I say, and you two can communicate. But like you mentioned, in case you want to say something where you're very powerful, you feel something, go for Hindi. It's okay. You say it in Hindi first, then you translate for me, then I'll respond. Okay. Because why to let that powerful statement go by? Because most of the viewers watching from my audience, they speak Hindi. It's just that I don't. So, you know what? First, I want to talk about you, man. Your YouTube channel has how many subscribers right now?
It's 2,25,000.
225. Yeah. The thing is that even though I probably have more subscribers than you, when you upload a video, you freaking get 1 lakh views in 2 days. Okay, that's incredible, seriously. So how did you first of all start this stuff, and how did it come about? Arpit Explains, where did that come from?
I used to write on Facebook before I started YouTube channel. I used to write, and there I write about lots of stuff like religion and casteism and superstitions. So then my subscribers said that on Facebook, my followers.
You had a Facebook page or just account?
Facebook account, yes.
Account, that's it,
yes,
okay.
Account. And they said that the Facebook is a very small reach in compared to YouTube. So you should do it on YouTube. And then I started. And,
which year was this?
It was 2019 when I started. But I didn't work, I say कि बहुत ज़्यादा मैंने इसको मेहनत नहीं किया. And it's ऐसे ही चलता रहा, and after the COVID, I started taking it seriously, more seriously. Yeah.
Okay. So is it right for me to say that you are an atheist?
Yeah.
Or agnostic? How do you prefer to be?
It's the words people say those, but I say that I don't find any logic, any reasoning, any evidence in the support of God or mythical stories, and so I don't buy it.
Fair enough. He's just like me, I guess. In that regard, we're completely the same. And I'm a full-on atheist. And on your YouTube channel, there is something written, I think, humanity, rationality. What are some 3 lines? Right? What is written there?
Humanity, rationality, and I forgot.
Okay, mainly humanity and rationality. Okay, right. Yeah. And so when I made this post around on August 2nd, I released a video, you might have seen it, where I called out some really, really big content creators and I told them that I would pay them 10 lakhs if they were to just come and talk with me. And because these are many people who in the past had spoken against veganism or even against me personally. So I was like, why do this silly online drama when we can talk face to face, right? What's the problem? So I honestly did not know who you were back then. But then in the comment section, bro, invite Arpit, Arpit explains. They kept tagging you. So I'm like, who is this guy, Arpit explains? And then I go and I see, I'm like, okay, wow, big channel. And I saw, okay, rationality, atheism, awesome. So I put that comment, I commented on your YouTube comment section. And then I think you saw that. And then that's how we got in touch. So yeah, the reason I even called you for this podcast to talk about veganism is because I don't know what your opinion is right now, but I am pretty confident if you truly are a rational, scientific, logical person, by the end when we're done talking, I'm pretty sure with facts, not with emotions, but with facts, I can convince you that veganism is the way forward for our society, for humanity. And that's what I intend to do. And in this podcast or discussion or debate, whatever you want to call it, feel free to ask me anything. Okay, nothing is off limits with me. You can bring up anything. You can ask any kind of questions, because I always feel that there are many people out there who say that they are activists, but then they limit the kind of questions you can ask them. They will not be willing to completely expose themselves to the public or anywhere and just answer anything. They will say, no, just don't ask this stuff. I'm not saying that. Ask me anything. If I am saying a statement that, hey, people should be vegan, if I am saying that veganism is the way forward, then I have to bring forward the evidence to stand by my claim. And that's what I want to do in today's podcast. So, all good. Anything you want to ask first?
First of all, I am really surprised why people are suggesting my name to you, because in my video, I don't know you watched them or not, but if you watch my videos, I never said that you can't be vegan or is impractical or veganism would not save the world as it projected. I never said that.
Right.
If you see, I actually said that veganism is a very good thing if you can afford it, if your body allows it, and if you I said that if you can, then you should, because it's the best thing you can do to the animal cruelty, to the environment, and most of the things. So I don't know why people.
Okay, I'll let you know. So first of all, obviously, when I invited you, it was not like for like, hey, come on, man, we'll talk. It's not in that attitude, obviously. But the reason why, you might wonder this, why do vegans constantly go around convincing others to be vegan? Have you thought about that question? Like, see, if I'm a vegan, I can be vegan and shut my mouth and live my life. Why do I go out of my way to go and lecture in colleges, talk to other people? Why am I inviting other content creators and trying to convince them? There is a reason. You see, veganism, by definition, has an expansionist mindset. It is not something where someone says, I am so-and-so, and therefore, I'm okay if others are not so-and-so. It, by definition, needs to expand. I'll give you an example. Veganism, as you said, might benefit the environment if done in a particular way, which we probably agree on. But the main core principle of veganism falls behind ethics. That is how we humans and animals interact. That is the primary core principle of veganism. Okay. So when someone says, hey, it's okay if you're vegan, I respect you. And you know what, I even encourage people to be vegan, but they are not vegan themselves. It is the equivalent of saying, you know what, bro, it's okay if you are someone who is respectful to women. You are someone who does not go home and beat your wife. You are someone who is non-violent, but you have to respect me if I am not respectful to women. You have to respect me if I beat my wife. So there comes a time where we take a stance because it's not a personal choice. Because in fact, that's what I first want to come to. I did see actually both of your videos. One was, I think, about how the carbohydrate intake is very high in the country. That is one video about the protein. Yeah. That video, I have literally nothing to say against that, because everything is completely science-based. You even mentioned the vegan options like, I believe, soy chunks and tofu. I mentioned, yes. That video, I'm pretty much like agreeing with everything as much as I understood about Hindi. I think I understood. So in case I've noted something wrong, let me know. Now, one thing you had mentioned there, even in the video titled Vegans versus Non-Vegans, Ethics, Health and Sustainability, was it's a personal choice. So with that analogy I gave right now regarding women's rights, do you think veganism is a personal choice, or do you think it's a moral obligation?
I think if we see it as a moral value that we should not harm animals, one thing I came in mind that it's nature that it's nature made that way that we have to exploit someone to
survive.
Survive. Yes.
Yeah.
So and another thing is I said in the video that the nutritional need that we are facing, and everybody is different. I can say someone that you completely live on a plant diet. If his body is not supporting it, how can I say to him? And I tell about my story. In I think 2014, I remember, I saw a video, Cowspiracy, I think.
Right.
Yeah. And that blows my mind that time.
Okay.
And I tell you that I'm born in a Brahmin family. It's completely vegetarian. And even in my home, eggs are not allowed even. So I was completely lacto-vegetarian.
Right.
And after in my childhood, I used to consume milk, and when I growed up, I left the milk also. And I don't have a tendency to drink tea and this type of thing. So mostly I'm living a somewhat vegan life at that time. A little bit of curd sometimes I take, and paneer.
You don't eat meat?
No.
You've never eaten meat in your entire life?
No.
All your life you never ate meat?
No.
Even I can't say that, because I also come from a Tamil Brahmin background, and my parents, as you can imagine, Brahmins would be like, don't eat meat. I was an atheist, right? Screw that. I ate meat. I've been an atheist. See, I'm 33 years old. I've been an atheist since I was 11 years old. And the day I realized all this religion and what they're saying, just my opinion, is nonsense. I was like, why should I listen to anything they say? It makes no sense. Everyone else eats meat, but I am not supposed to because I was born to a particular sect. Makes no sense. So I did vegan eating, but you have not eaten so far.
No. So,
okay.
So it was not difficult for me to switch to completely vegan. So then I watched the documentary, and it impressed me so much. And I say it's not taking much from me. I can become completely vegan, and I did so. So I think it's around 1 year I was completely vegan. I am not taking any milk product, anything, and after that I fall ill. I got viral fever hit me, and it took so long time to recover.
Okay.
And it's almost 15 to 20 days. So much, and I feel मतलब अंदर से ना बहुत मतलब अच्छा फील नहीं होता था.
I get it.
So and then I go to the doctor, and he did some tests, and he said that your B12, your vitamin D, and your calcium, iron, all are
very low.
Yes.
Okay.
So and then I supplementation, and then I read about it, and that time I realized that about the vegan diet, there was very little information available.
This is 2014 you're talking
2014,
about?
yes.
Yeah, that's when I also first became a vegan, and I agree. Not little, there was no information.
Yeah.
Especially from the Indian context, nothing. There was nothing.
So, and I have no idea that these things are so important. I was thinking that I'm taking dal chawal, roti sabji, and I'm getting all the nutrition. So at that time I read about it, and I know that this is the problem, and I said, okay, no problem. I will take supplement, and I will do. I will try to improve my diet, and I did so. But then I started. I joined the gym, and I started working out. And then I started. Then my gym trainer said that you need to achieve this much protein in a day, and then I realized that I cannot even achieve that goal with the vegan diet.
Okay.
And one problem that I face that I eat very little. My diet is very little.
Okay.
I eat just 2-3 rotis in a time. And if I eat, I try to eat much. If I say that I had a heavy lunch, a heavy breakfast, then I will skip the lunch.
Okay.
Yeah. And the vegan diet, that legumes and chana, and if I eat that in a much quantity, and I feel bloated all the day. I feel bloated.
Okay.
And then I struggled so many times with this, and I say no, I will be vegan, and I will not cook, because once you realize that thing, that the food you are eating is causing some animals to harm, it become very difficult to
justify.
Yeah. And I think I go this way around 6 months or maybe more. And then I said, I cannot.
Okay. This is like 10 plus years ago right now you're talking about, right? Or everything that happened 10 years ago. Okay. So I heard everything you had to say. I just want to address from the beginning, whatever I remember point by point. So the first statement you did say was that in this universe, on this planet, whether we like it or not, for one creature to survive, another has to kind of like be exploited and suffer. So my question is, does it have to be that way when it comes to us human beings? As in like, say for example, you and me were having this conversation 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. I agree with you. We have to. Because we're literally living off the land. We don't have this modern day technology. We don't have supplementation. We don't have any of the miracles of modern medicine. Nothing exists. So back then, yes, we had to. But right now in the year 2025, I want you to be honest and let me know, do we have to get our nutrients from animals, or is it possible to get it from a plant or synthetic source?
Yeah, it's completely possible.
It's possible.
Yes, possible.
So you agree that the statement you said that then that means that an animal has to be exploited, then it's not true. If another option is available,
of course,
then that statement, what you first said, is false. Then do you agree with that?
Yes, I
you agree. Fair enough. Okay, fine. Now regarding you watching Cowspiracy and then being inspired to change, and you told how you tried changing, you had to go to the gym. Initially, you felt sick with viral fever. That time, you felt very weak. You weren't feeling good on the inside. You went to the gym, and the gym trainer told you have to hit a particular goal of protein. You could not even reach that as a vegan. Already, you eat less, so you always feel so full and bloated on the inside. You just can't eat. Okay, let's tackle and unravel that point by point now, if we can. Firstly, when you became vegan, what were you eating? Do you have a rough idea of what you were eating when you became vegan and a rough idea of what you were eating before you became vegan? Can you give me like a detailed explanation if possible?
Yeah, the same thing that every Indian household cook. Dal, roti, rice, sabji.
Okay.
These all things.
Okay. And you just avoided the butter, the ghee, the curd. That's it.
Yeah.
So you were living alone or with your parents at the time? Like how
parents,
were
yes.
Parents? And they were just accommodating you. You saw like, mom, just don't use this while cooking and she will make it like that for you. That's how it was done. Okay. So you do realize that if we have a plate right now in front of us and which we have chapati and then we have vegetables, we have some dairy or we have some meat, whatever. If we merely remove them and eat what's remaining, of course we're going to get a deficiency because you have not replaced what you are eating earlier with this. Do you think that might have been an error on your side? Although I understand that your experience is valid. I'm not trying to invalidate your experience. Everyone has the right to say, look, I tried this, man. It didn't work for me. But being someone right now who has been in this vegan movement for so long, I'm a vegan now for 11 years. I have done plenty of research, study about this regarding nutrition and everything, and I will back up my statements with science, obviously. Now, I'm not just going to give experience, I'm going to back up science. So in that regard, I would say that you did the vegan diet, quote unquote, wrongly.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
In the starting.
Yeah, the first year you said that's wrong. So since it was done wrongly then and you had a negative experience, do you think it's fair right now to continue being a non-vegan even though you could definitely this time probably educate yourself better and you literally have someone who has spent, you know who I am, right? I'm just asking, you know who I am. Like, someone who's literally spent all of their waking hours for the past 9 years trying to promote this. Would you be open to, being a vegan? Like if I could just fill in, if I could just understand where probably you went wrong. You also mentioned about how you need extra protein because you're working out, completely understandable. About how you can probably consume much volume of food because it hurts you. I will take everything into consideration and I want to tackle them point by point. Can we right now? Is that fine?
Yeah, sure. In fact, I tell you that I watched one of your video where you were telling how can you switch to vegan diet, and that video is very good. I must
the
say.
90-minute long
90 minutes, yes.
You watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
What the?
Yes.
What the hell? You watched the whole thing?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. See, that's the whole point. See, I'll be honest with you, bro. When you said that, first of all, thank you for saying it. You just touched my heart right now. I am actually ashamed to say that it took me so long to make that video. Yeah. Because I have been going out there saying to people, become vegan. But where's the guidance?
Yeah.
I have, then, you won't believe this. I was just telling my wife, like, that video we began working on, it took us 5.5 months to make because we had to fact check every single thing. And I can assure you with my life, everything mentioned there has been fact checked and backed by science. There's nothing pseudoscientific. And even if there are some negatives to veganism, I've mentioned in the video, I did not make it look positive.
And that thing मतलब वो देख कर ना मेरे को बहुत अच्छा लगा. I feel totally that I can say that some vegan is there who is so honest about this.
Exactly.
And I never seen a vegan in India, at least, that is so honest about this.
Well, thank you. I will accept the criticism towards my community because that is true. Many vegans unfortunately have the idea that you become vegan, all your problems, Arpit, everything will go. Healthiest ever. Just stop eating meat. Oh, that makes no sense. See, as a vegan, I'll accept honestly. You can eat meat, dairy and eggs and be very healthy. In fact, the vast majority of healthiest people who have ever lived on earth are omnivores. Yeah. But it's also possible to be a vegan and be healthy. That my only argument is this, bro. I don't want to portray veganism as something superior. I don't want to portray veganism as the best, healthiest, most environmentally friendly. Nothing. I don't make any of those statements. We are exploiting animals. And if you have truly seen either through the videos or even like you go in person to a slaughterhouse, man, like sometimes we don't need someone to lecture us or explain to us why something is wrong. Like when you see violence and injustice and someone screaming and blood splurting everywhere, like I don't think someone has to sit and say, Arvind, you see, they're in pain. Like, no, I get it. I see it. It's horrible. So when that is happening and we have the option to be vegan and just be equally healthy, the only rational thing to do is become vegan.
Yeah.
Because as a human being, veganism is based about ethics. And how can I call myself a civilized human being, a human being who stands against injustice, who speaks on behalf of, freedom and love and compassion, but eat meat, dairy and eggs when all of those products are produced through the most vile, horrendous, you agree these words, horrific violence on earth. You've seen these videos?
Yes, I've seen.
It is the most horrific crap you will ever see. It gives me sleepless nights seeing it. The first time I saw it, I literally almost threw up. Like that's how I felt. But coming back to your story right now, first of all, thank you for saying it's honest, that video. That's my whole point. When I also became vegan, I'll tell you my story, what happened. There were these people in my community, they still exist by the way, and I am very much opposed to them. Have you heard of a word called raw vegan?
Yeah.
These people will eat only raw fruits and vegetables and they'll say it's because apparently we are apes. I understand that, we are apes. But they'll say that humans are frugivores, that we are meant to eat fruits. We are not frugivores biologically. We are biologically omnivorous apes. The closest relatives are chimpanzees and bonobos. Chimpanzees eat meat.
Yeah.
Gorillas don't, but they have a huge stomach. We don't have that. So the thing is that we have to be very careful because I fell into that raw vegan trap and I was eating only fruits and vegetables. And you know what? I developed peptic ulcer when I first tried to become vegan, but I still didn't stop. I then went to the right sources, learned proper things, learned to cook, and I stood by my vegan principle for a simple reason. If I don't want someone to take me away from my family, if I have a child and someone is taking my child from me, whatever pain I will feel is what that animal feels. And I don't think anything on earth justifies it. Of course, if you are in a life or death situation, there are people, for example, in this country who literally cannot even afford money for the next meal. If that person right now is choosing to eat meat, I'm not going to go there and hold a placard and say, hey, how dare you eat meat? Go. That's not my message. But there are so many of us in this country who are privileged. You agree that, I will say honestly, I am from a very privileged background. What about yourself?
Yeah.
You agree? Yeah. So why should we, the privileged ones, even consider for a moment to not become vegan is my question. So when you mentioned back in 2014, when I was being a raw vegan, you were also trying to be a vegan back then. So I never thought me and you were both at the same time. I thought when I first became vegan in 2014, I was the only vegan in India. I swear I thought that because I did not know or see or meet anybody else who was vegan for more than 2 years after that. So when you mentioned you went to the doctor, you were B12 deficient, understandable. Vitamin D deficient, understandable. Calcium deficient?
Yeah.
And then iron deficient. Okay, fine. Fair enough. So now is what I want to bring up certain points for you, and this will be quite interesting. Just give me a second. Where did I keep that? There they are. Hope that doesn't affect the mic too much. So I have with me here a few things. And don't worry, folks, whatever I'm going to show to him, I am going to be putting it on screen for you guys as an image. So you can also see, because I have come with facts on hand. It's important to do that. Okay, if I can just find that. All right. I want to show this to you first. So obviously, you know the food called tofu.
I saw this in your video.
It's taken from that. Everything is taken from that only. That's because that's the research happened, right? So tofu basically is paneer made from soybeans, and in order to coagulate it, they use some substance which also has, like, I think calcium sulfate or something. I'm not sure what the exact chemical component. Something calcium they have. So when you consume tofu, you are getting ridiculous amounts of calcium. Because when we consume dairy products, we know for a fact the milk contains calcium, which I agree. And they say right now that human beings need to consume 1,000 milligrams of calcium per day to meet the RDI for calcium. So when you first initially became vegan, you were eating dal, roti, some rice, probably, and vegetables. There was no high calcium food.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. If you had probably consumed tofu back then regularly, and you're from Delhi?
Yeah.
Do you guys get tofu there?
Yeah.
How expensive? Is it expensive or is it cheap? Like
cheaper than paneer.
Cheaper than paneer, right? Yeah. It's always cheaper than paneer, yeah. So if you can afford paneer, we can definitely afford tofu. So if you had consumed tofu back then, I can assure you wouldn't have gotten calcium issues. That's one thing I want to
But that time, tofu is not that much available.
Right. I understand. And the second thing is, just show you this. See, veganism is not the natural diet for human beings. I want to first say that. Veganism is not natural. Some people say we are all born vegan, meant to be vegan. I will say we are born vegan at heart, in the sense that if you give a knife to a child and say, go kill that animal, the child will drop the knife. It will not do the killing. But to say biologically we are meant only to eat plants, that's not true, because no civilization in the past has ever been vegan.
Yeah.
And our species has come this far because we are hunter-gatherers. We are not just foraging animals. We hunt. It's in us. We do that. So with that being the case, supplementation is something that is so important for vegans, because there are a few vitamins, and there has been tremendous amount of scientific research done that shows that if vegans do not consume these supplements, deficiencies will 100% ensue. There is just no escaping that. So you can just have a look at that. I've written about vitamin B12 and vitamin D. Just to check, you are not supplementing back then. By the way, Univet vitamin D was available in 2014. I was supplementing with it, just saying. Yeah. Were you supplementing with B12 and vitamin D back then?
No.
So,
but after that, I started supplementing.
After your levels were very low?
Yeah.
So you have to understand something. I think that's also mentioned in that video if you saw it. Once your levels are very low, when you supplement, you cannot just take how much you need per day and bring your levels back to normal.
No, that's a no.
Yeah, you have to initially boost it up very highly, and only then it goes back to being normal. So for that also, if you check that video again guys, if you're wondering what video we're talking about, it will be shown in the beginning of the, video you're watching right now. Like, I'll put a thumbnail showing what video we're talking. If you go to the description, you can see this video, because please do watch it. It's very informational. The point, what were we talking about? Vitamin. You'll have to pull your levels back up. Right now, back then, most of the vitamin D supplements were made from lanolin, that is sheep wool. And they give like 60,000 IUs of vitamin D. And if you consume that for like few weeks, your vitamin D levels will go back up. But lanolin, again, is from sheep wool, which we vegans will not consume, right? So these days we have lichen, that's the fungus source vitamin D, very high. We have IUs. You can take that instead. And even that's mentioned in that video. So what I'm trying to say, and regarding iron, have you had any iron issues when you were a vegetarian, or only when you became vegan it happened?
I never checked.
We don't know. We don't know. Maybe the B12, because you know something, there are meat eaters with iron deficiencies. There are meat eaters with B12 deficiencies. It's not just uniquely for us vegans. These are things that most of you can keep it here if you want to. These are things that most of us can face an issue with. So supplementing always helps for vitamin B12 and vitamin D. Regarding iron, again, soy products, green leafy vegetables. Have you heard about this one hack that if you consume a source of vitamin C along when eating iron-rich foods, your body absorbs the iron better? Are you aware of that? Yeah. So my point is this. Yes, back then you tried, you were not properly well informed. So obviously it didn't work, and it gave you a bad experience, bro. I'm not going to deny your experience at all, okay? Everyone has their experience, and for you, it was a negative one. But what made you then think, okay, like right now, I won't become a vegan? Because you're not a vegan right now, right? You're not, yeah. So there is something in you that's either holding you back or something in you that is justifying the cruelty happening to animals that makes you think what you're doing right now is okay. Is that a fair statement for me to make?
Yeah.
So which is it? Which one of them is true?
I think I watched your video that 90 minutes long. And even in that video where you're saying that you have to eat much And that
The protein part.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
That I cannot.
Okay.
Even I tell you that in today's scenario when I work out, and I even struggle to meet the protein requirement even with the vegetarian diet. Like, I so much struggle that I cannot meet.
So how many grams of protein do you need per day?
My body weight is 86 kg.
Okay.
So
Same weight you and me. By the way, he's almost as tall as me, guys. You're 6 feet?
6 feet.
I'm 6'4". Yeah. So 86 kgs. How much gram of protein do you need? Like
so at least I try to 1.5 gram per kg body weight. I try to achieve.
so it comes to around 150, 160 grams.
Yeah.
You struggle to reach that, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Maybe you said you have some issues to eat. Maybe okay, fine. So explain to me right now your current sources to get 160 grams of protein. What do you eat?
I eat paneer.
How much paneer like per day?
200 gram I try to eat.
200 grams. That will
in
have
separate 2 meals. 100 gram in one meal and 100 gram.
How much protein is that? Like some
I think it's around 40
grams. Okay. Then apart from that, after that,
apart from that, I take whey protein.
how many scoops?
1 scoop.
So 25 grams.
Yeah.
We touched 65 so far. Next.
Yeah. And that's all the roti and vegetable.
Then you won't be hitting 100, bro. Like that's all you take, huh?
Yeah.
No, okay, fine. Well, this can easily be done, bro. Like, see, here's a simple thing. First thing is, again, you could just switch the paneer with tofu. But the only thing is that paneer is obviously more protein than tofu. Like,
And it's I can eat that easily without any. I tried to eat tofu as well, but I don't know why. I can eat 100 gram paneer easily without any struggle, but I cannot eat 100 gram tofu.
What's it doing to you? Like, what's happening inside?
It's more chewy and I don't know.
How do you prepare it? Like, what do you do? Give me like an idea.
I fried with some vegetables. I tried like that only.
Okay, see, you have to first understand that paneer, by default, we have removed the fat because basically there's not much carbohydrates in milk. It's the lactose that's the only sugar in milk, right? Apart from that, it's just protein and fat, lots of fat. So paneer is, we have removed the protein. You know how it's made, right? They churn it and they remove the layer that's full of protein and fat. Animal fat, first of all, per calorie is so dense in calories. Like per gram is so dense in calories. Like 100 grams of paneer, I think will be, if I'm not wrong, something like 200 plus calories in calorie count. Whereas 100 grams of tofu is like less than half of that. Because tofu is also having fat in it, but this animal protein and animal fat you have, animal fat especially, it is, I think, 9 calories per gram. So it's a far more calorie dense food. So when you eat it, obviously you feel it tastes better, obviously, because your brain, you know how the human brain has evolved for taste, seeking taste, right? Are you aware of that?
Yeah.
In the wild, it is said that whichever foods have higher calories, our brains will spike dopamine, because like if in the wild my brain is giving me dopamine hits for eating salad and eating grapes, means I'll die. But if I eat meat, that's a very, very high spike. So paneer is the same thing. It's an animal fat, an animal protein. So that's why your brain is giving that signal to you. I would say, take your time and try to adjust your body slowly to tofu. Not, for example, some people, they switch to veganism like that. They make it the shift overnight. Some people may need some extra time because their body is adjusting.
Actually, I want to do this because if you see that in terms of expense, it's less expensive. It's cheaper than paneer.
It is cheaper, yes.
If I can switch to tofu, that would be also light to my pocket also. But I don't know what is the problem.
So here's the thing. So how I would phrase it is like this. It all comes down to a mindset. If you had met me, say 12 years ago, and you had told me that I will become a vegan and be spending my time in a studio talking to people, convincing others to become vegan, I'll think you're crazy, because I was that much of a meat lover, crazy meat fanatic. I'll be honest. I don't know. You know what? I was going to make a statement, but we are in Maharashtra. I don't know how offensive it will be. Let's just say I used to eat a kind of meat that Hindus should never eat. I think you know what I'm talking about, right? So I'm just making my statements in a more politically, more sensitive way, more properly I'm making it. Yeah. So I used to eat that much amount of meat. Crazy. Because atheist, and you know how Tamil atheists are? Have you met Kerala and Tamil atheist people? You know how we are like? The whole point of atheism there is to oppose the original rule. Right. It is like we will purposely do that just to piss off the religious people.
Yeah.
So as an atheist, I did that. And the point is, however, once you realize the pain and suffering behind those choices, of course, I'm not asking you to now suffer. That should not be the case. You should also be happy. The animals should be happy. Both sides should be happy. But we have to make that switch. Now, how will you make it? Your journey might be different from mine. I don't know. But you will have to start working on this and have to reach the end. And this time with proper supplementation, proper planning. Use my video as a guideline. It has everything you need. And regarding protein, another thing you said, I just want to say, give me a second. Babe, can you get me the protein powder from there? So I've brought stuff here just to show people, because I knew these kind of topics will obviously come up. Yeah, just give it. So unfortunately, when I opened it today morning, it kind of got ripped. Have you heard of this brand? Let me try taking it out. Sorry, I keep touching my mic. Have you heard of this before?
Pea protein, yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
This brand, do you know, Univid? You guys can see it if you want. Have you heard of this brand? No? So yeah. So Univid, let it be here for now, is just one of the many brands of plant protein powders. And you might think, however, whey is a superior protein, and you will be right to say that. Factually, whey, you know what is PDCAS, DIAS scores, you know this stuff, right? Yeah, okay, fine. So again, we're keeping it completely truthful and scientific. Whey is the gold standard based on which other proteins are compared. It is number one. No one is contesting that. The vegan himself is agreeing to it. With that being said, this is not too far behind, because in this modern day and age, we have the technology to produce and isolate from plants that cannot compete equivalent to it. If it is number one, this can be at least be given a silver medal. It's on par with that. And have you heard of a protein powder called soy protein isolate?
Yeah.
Now that is literally, in fact, I even had a paper here comparing those scores. You can have a look. I'm sure you'll know all this stuff, man, because you are also showing all scientific
pretty close.
stuff.
I also, yes.
All the PDCAS scores. I'll show you guys on screen what he's looking at right now. So by the way, for those wondering, PDCAS and DIAS are not 100% accurate. Just give me a second. I'll just give this back to her. Thank you. Yeah, so I don't know if you know this, PDCAS and DIAS scores are actually not 100% legit, because PDCAS was tested on rats. DIAS was tested on pigs. Are you aware of that? No, it is not human tests actually. Okay. But and by the way, so rats, what they did was, they gave them food, and then the fecal matter came out. They tested that to see how much protein is left, and they thought that whatever is left, the remaining has been absorbed by the body. And based on that, they gave numbers. So PDCAS works perfectly if you are a rat. And DIAS was tested on pigs, because, you know, biologically pigs are closer to human beings. So when you test on a pig, you can actually kind of more accurately get by the way, I oppose animal testing. I'm as a vegan, you know, I'm opposed to it, but still we have these facts. You can't ignore a fact, right? So, and that's how they came up with DIAS scores. But as of now, these are the best numbers we have at the moment. Maybe tomorrow in the future, they'll test with humans, we'll get better numbers, I don't know. What we can see is that a person consuming a plant-based diet, eating protein from only plants, can either compete equally to someone who's omnivorous, or even if it's less, it's like immeasurably less. Like as long as they supplement it properly. Yeah. Because the PDCAS for whey protein isolate is 1. PDCAS for soy protein isolate is 99, 0.99, which is hardly anything. It's the same. Yes. So I would say to you, if you struggle, and if right now you told me, bro, 65 grams of protein, how you get? I will say to you, Arpit, the cow and the calf and the buffalo, they matter more, bro. Take 3 scoops of soy protein isolate a day and eat your own food you're eating right now. Do that instead. Because here's the thing, man. At the end of the day, all I can ask you is this. The violence is happening there. You are funding it. That's a fair statement. You are funding it, right? You agree? I'm like, why? Make the shift. Like, if soy protein isolate is the only source of protein, take that 3 shakes a day. Take even 4 shakes. By the way, if you're worried about soy, because I think you know that soy has phytoestrogen and all this stuff, it affects thyroid, which is true in certain people. If you are for example, a thyroid patient, please consult your doctor before consuming soy products. But for the vast majority of people, it's a non-issue. And not to mention, these phytoestrogens don't necessarily affect the human body the same way. It does this because it's a plant-based estrogen. But when they make the soy protein isolate, they're isolating only the protein molecule from the entire bean. In that process, you lose vast majority of the phytoestrogen and all the other things that could potentially be problematic. So you're taking a very clean source of protein. You will not, even if you took 4 scoops a day, nothing. Yeah, go on.
I tried, but it tastes pathetic.
It is. Yes. That's good. I'm glad you brought it up. Yes, you know what? It may taste pathetic. Maybe it tastes like crap. You know what I say as a vegan? It's okay. Can taste be more important? See, we are at a crossroads right now. You have to make a call. Here, if you make this choice, you 100% take part in animal exploitation. If you take this choice, you don't take part in animal exploitation. By not taking part, you are sacrificing your taste buds. You are. I'm saying sacrifice your taste buds. Do you think what I'm saying is logical or it's an illogical statement?
No, it's logical.
It's logical.
And I think when I watch your video, 90-minute log, and that's the only thing which I had a problem about is I cannot eat that much. That bad. And I think I can give a second try. I have no problem in this. But there is also a question in my mind that I am privileged enough to do this.
Right.
Yeah? And in this country, I see that lots of people are there who are not that privileged. And if you go to the tier 2 and tier 3 cities, and even the tofu is not available there.
Right.
Yeah? So how can they achieve this? And if we and we see the statistics, then we see that more than 80% of the population in India is having some kind of deficiency.
Yeah.
Maybe it's iron deficiency or vitamin D, B12, protein. You name it. There are so.
True.
And we see that the animal meat consumption in India is so much less. It's around 3-4 kg per person per year. Maybe it's around, or maybe some more. And if you see the West, and there is 100 of kg per person. So we are already very deficient. So I think it's okay that if some privilege like us turn into vegan, and that is good thing. But when I see those unprivileged people and the kind of activism I see in the name of veganism, I see. I tell you that I think I can talk about to you because I find that you are very honest about it. And in 2014, where I become vegan, and then that thing hit me, and I realized something that these nutrition are not coming from our regular diets. And I wrote an article about it on my Facebook. And I had to write it because there are some vegan groups that were posting there that human are actually not meatitarian, and our ancestor was not meat eaters. That kind of thing they were writing. And I wrote it with the scientific evidence that actually this is not true. And if you become vegan, then these things you will get these kind of deficiencies in long run. And the vegan community attacked on me. And it's on Facebook. If you say that, I can check. You can check.
If you want, you can share the screenshot. I'll even put it in the video right now if you want. I can do that. Yeah.
And then I realized that the kind of activism is happening in India. It's more about morality or kind of, I say, emotional thing. More it has more emotional appeal than logical. And problem iske saath pata kya hoti hai? The problem which it has that people tend to pick the emotional wave. There's a probability that people flow in the emotion and don't realize what is the deficiency they may get. बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो कि मैं देखता हूँ वो वीगन हो जाते हैं जस्ट क्योंकि उनको लगता है यार ये तो क्रूएलिटी है ना, इसको खत्म होना चाहिए, ये दिस इज वेरी बैड थिंग दैट इज हैपनिंग, एंड देन डोंट even think about like what happened with me also. तो जो मेरे साथ हुआ है ना वो औरों के साथ हो रहा है और अभी भी हो रहा है, और एंड स्टिल इसलिए मतलब अब भी जबकि ये इन्फॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है अभी, मतलब वो 2014 वाला टाइम नहीं है जिस टाइम पर आई बिकेम vegan and that time that information is not available that much, but today is available and still they are doing this thing. There is a spiritual teacher, Acharya Prashant,
I know.
and he also talk about veganism, and I criticize a few things about him, and so जो लोग उनको follow करते हैं then come to me also, and I used to talk to them also. So when I posted that video about protein deficiency in India, and some of their followers came to me and they said that you are promoting meat eating. And I said no, I never said that this is the only way you can do. I clearly said in the video that you can become complete vegan and stay fit also. But आपको ये दिमाग से सोच कर करना पड़ेगा. आप इमोशन के फ्लो में बह के करोगे कि यार मेरे को एनिमल्स को बचाना है एंड तो मैं वीगन हो जाता हूँ. और बहुत सारे लोग मैं देखता हूँ ऐसे हैं हमारे देश के अंदर जो कि जैसे कि स्टूडेंट्स हैं, स्टूडेंट्स एंड हाउस वाइफ्स, या मतलब जिनके पास इतनी पावर नहीं है कि वो बिकॉज वी लिव इन द फैमिली एंड जो खाना जो बनता है वो कोई मदर बना रही होती है ना, कोई वाइफ बना रही होती है ना. दिस इज हाउ आवर फैमिली
Indian households run. Yeah.
सो दे डोंट हैव दैट प्रिविलेज दैट जैसे कि दैट घर की पूरी डाइट को चेंज करते हैं. व्हाट दे कैन डू, ठीक है यार जो बन रहा है ठीक है, मैं इसमें से मिल्क प्रोडक्ट को हटा देता हूँ या मीट को हटा देता हूँ. दिस इज दे कैन डू एंड दैट इज एक्चुअली हैपनिंग. मेरी जो बात हुई आचार्य प्रशांत के कुछ जो फॉलोअर्स थे, मेरी बात हुई और मैंने उनसे कहा कि अच्छा उसमें कुछ स्टूडेंट्स वगैरह भी थे, तो मैंने कहा कि भाई आप वीगन हो गए हो, व्हाट यू आर डूइंग. सो दे सेड या वी आर वीगन. मैंने कहा ओके हाउ. मैंने कहा क्या आप अपना खाना खुद बनाते हो, क्या करते हो? कह रहे नहीं, हम तो जो घर का खाना है वही खाते हैं एंड मिल्क प्रोडक्ट हमने हटा दिए. सेम थिंग विच आई डिड.
Yeah, exactly.
So this is happening, and even that your 90-minute long video, when I say it's around 50K view or maybe
Only 40K at the moment.
40K,
yeah, very less.
Yeah. And that thing that broke my heart. That so much information is there, so much, but nobody want to watch that. What people want to watch? Fighting.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And where there are video reels where the laser light coming off your eyes, and there are lots of views. But where the good information available? Nobody want to watch that.
Right. So yeah, you made quite a lot of points right now. You went touching different things. I made a mental note of everything. So again, we'll just go point by point. I think we've been speaking now for almost an hour at this point, I believe.
Oh.
I didn't even know the time, but you know what? This is good because I know why. I still have a lot of stuff yet to still ask you. I have a lot of questions, so we'll cover it. No issues. We have time. So first, the one point here you made was that you started by saying that you want to give it one more shot again for veganism. Now, I want to touch this topic again a little later towards this podcast because that will go into a different angle kind of thing. Because you might again think this, if you don't mind me using little bad words, right? I will censor it. You might look at me and think this vegan is not, what do you call, like he's letting me off the hook. He's just, I'm telling him I'll try, but he's like, no, I will talk about that at the end. You might think that way about me, but again, like I told you, there's a reason why we vegans behave this way. You might think we're annoying, and you know what? Fine, we are annoying. I'll agree with that. But like I told you, there is an expansionist mindset in the vegan message. Just like how if you were to meet someone who is engaging in some kind of violence towards a human being, like a bully or a rowdy or say anybody, like who abuses women or something, and you were talking to him in a podcast and he's saying to you, you know what, man, good points. I'll try not being abusive. Would you let that slide or will you be like, no, you know what, we'll just keep that for now. We'll come back to that later. What will you say? Like, yeah, try bro. Try not to hurt people. Or will you say like, no, don't hurt people? What will be your message when it comes to humans?
Yeah, don't hurt.
Don't. You will not say trying is not enough at that point. Yeah, fair enough. Okay. But either way, don't worry. You might, again, feel free to express your emotions, bro. I am not the kind of person who will get angry or yell or anything. If whatever you have in your mind, even if you want to use a few unparliamentary language, we'll censor it. Okay, I don't care. You be yourself. Okay, just be yourself.
I never.
You're not like that. Okay, fine, fair enough. For some people are. So I'm just giving you the freedom. The other point you mentioned, I want to touch upon, very important. You mentioned how there are so many underprivileged people in this country. And we as the privileged group maybe can afford vegan food and eat. What will the underprivileged people do? That's a fair point. Let's just dive deep into this because I actually have a solution for this. That is number one, if you look at the landscape of food production in India or the world over, how we humans actually procure food and we ingest it, it's very inefficient. Are you aware that production of meat, dairy and eggs is a very inefficient way of getting calories and of getting protein or any other nutrients? Because you will have to take food that is plants, feed them to the animal, then you have to have a separate place for the animal to stay, feed them enough to get big and fat. After that, you kill the animal and you get only a small portion of food in return. The energy conversion, for example, we are eating chicken. That chicken is put in a big room where they are barnyard, where they are given so much of feed. And by the way, I don't know if you're aware of this. Did you know the animals that you don't eat, that people eat? Chickens and pigs and goats and buffaloes, all these animals. Do you know that they are given B12 supplements?
Yeah, I know.
They are, so people who are now thinking, I want to become vegan, but it's so unnatural to take a beetle. The animal you're eating takes B12 supplements. It's not that B12 is something magically found in animal foods. We humans, through science and research, have realized that there are some food nutrients is just generally the public is deficient in. It's just a general thing. For example, iodine. If you're not living near a coastal area, you'll probably be deficient in iodine, which is why the government iodizes the salt we eat. It's like that basically. So coming back to the underprivileged people, how do I phrase this now? Veganism, I want the world to become vegan, but I recognize that not everyone at the moment can become vegan. I recognize that, especially being from India, a third world country where we have so many impoverished people. But with that being said, I also want to break a stigma, and that is when we say vegan food or vegan diet, people have this notion that it is extraordinarily expensive. I want to destroy that notion because, like you said, even in your case, it's cheaper. So when someone decides right now, which is why I have another thing, I'll show it on the screen also. This is an excellent source. Of course, when it comes to volume, we have to get back on this because you don't like to eat lots of volumes of food, but soy chunks, they swell up in size, very big they become. But soy chunks have a crazy amount of protein in them. High quality plant protein.
But they swelled up.
They do swell up, yeah. You're an exception. I'm not talking about you right now. You can take the soy protein isolate. You just chuck that down. You don't have to eat soy chunks. For each, again, that's the whole point. Based on your body, you have to work in this framework of veganism. Find what works for you. But I'm saying work within this framework. The moment we leave the framework, it's blood and screams and guts and just utter violence everywhere. So please work within the framework is what I'm trying to say. And for people who are underprivileged right now, we can't change them. But what we can do is, if right now, like I told you, the food system is so inefficient, we actually have a system. Could you imagine this, Arpit? Imagine right now the dairy industry did not exist, okay? Imagine right now it just does not exist. And I am coming up with a sales pitch. I'm going to the manager and saying, sir, I want you to invest crores of rupees to me. Why? You see, I'm going to take a cow. I'm going to forcefully make her pregnant. I'm going to make her give birth to a lot of babies. When she's giving birth to the baby, she'll produce milk. I'll feed her lots of food. I will take that milk. I'll then send it to a factory where they'll pasteurize that milk. Then we'll take that milk, put it into packets, and every day morning at 5 a.m., we'll go to people's houses and we'll throw it there. He will think you're mental. Could you imagine if this never existed and someone came up with the idea? Would you think it's sensible or it's stupid? It's an insane idea, right? But we're actually able to pull it off. Why? Because that's just the societal norm. We have just gone in this direction. It is very much possible to create a food system far more sustainable, where everyone does get their nutrition through plants. Because, like I told you, animal agriculture is intensive and difficult. Plant production is not as intensive and not as difficult. It is very much possible to do the alternative. Now, as for underprivileged people, they maybe cannot change right now. Again, it depends on the individual. They have to check their options. For example, soy chunks is cheaper than chicken. Tofu is cheaper than paneer. And also, if you combine a grain and a legume, you do get a high PD-CAS protein score because, one food group is kind of low in some amino acids, some is higher. So when you make that combination, you do get a complete protein. With that being said, do you know, by the way, what is seitan? S-E-I-T-A-N?
I heard about it.
Have you heard of a word called vital wheat gluten?
No.
No? Okay. Babe, I need that.
Okay, that thing I saw in your video.
In the video. So I made sure I brought everything here with me today just to show people. Just have a look if you want. This is from a brand called Urban Platter. No, they don't sponsor me, folks. Just saying, no one is sponsoring me for any of this that I'm doing right now. So this, you can have a look at how much protein is something covering it. But this thing per 100 grams has 75 grams of protein. 75 grams, however, of poor quality protein because it's basically gluten, that is the protein taken from atta, which is incomplete in some.
But I heard about gluten allergies some people have.
Yeah, but when was the last time you came across someone as an Indian, as a North Indian, when did you come across someone with a gluten allergy the last time? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm not saying that they exist. It's called celiac disease. If they were to right now eat the stuff, they'll immediately start getting fits and rashes all over their body. If that has never happened to you, you need not worry about this. Of course, what you're saying, celiac disease exists. And for us Indians, and 1 billion of us Indians and everyone watching this, how many people have you met with gluten as an Indian so far? Nobody. We hardly meet them. If they are there, don't eat this. For the rest of us, we can. So I have that seitan recipe again in that video people can check. 75 grams of protein for 100 grams. And this packet I think cost me 650 rupees for 1 kg. Even if you take just 50 grams and you make one small piece of seitan with it, you saw that video how it's made, right? Yeah, you can have it. Yeah, if you make that small piece of seitan, what happens is that you get around 37 to 38 grams of protein. Since it's quite poor amino acid profile, if you add some legume like say even soya chunks or something like chana or whatever to it, you complete the amino acid profile and you get a high quality protein of 50 grams. What I'm trying to say is that the food alternatives exist. Let us, the privileged people, stop giving excuses for animal exploitation. Let us become vegan. And when we start changing, the demand also starts changing in society. You understand? It's like in capitalism, based on demand, supply will change. So let's say tomorrow, 5 lakh or 10 lakh, that is 1 million privileged Indians become vegans. Do you know how much shift there will be in the economical structure or food system? Because just by merely us changing what we eat, the system changes. In that case, suddenly more newer options open up, more affordable options open up that even the poorer class can choose. My point is that people who are extremely in poverty right now, they probably can't choose. Yeah. And I can't blame them either. Because I cannot tell what I would be doing if I were in their position. So, however, I can reiterate, veganism is not expensive. Even if you have 120 rupees per day, you can get a full-fledged healthy vegan diet that covers all of your nutritional needs. Again, this stuff I showed earlier about supplementation, did you know it only costs you 8 rupees per day to supplement with vitamin D and B12?
Yeah.
It's the 8 rupees, bro. That's nothing. People literally smoke multiple cigarettes a day. Those people should not be saying, bro, man, veganism is expensive. So we have to understand that, first of all, when the privileged class does change, it affects the economy and the supply and demand chain in a particular way. With that effect in place, things will open up. Because think of it, again, milk, like I told you, the setup of the entire industry, dairy, is crazy. But we have, the government is using our taxpayer money to create subsidies to keep the price of milk and eggs still low. Imagine they start doing that for the plant-based protein products. Why? Because now suddenly demand is there. The poorer people will have options. My point is this.
But there is a problem.
Go on.
Right, I said before, the emotional appeal is much in the vegan movement, which I said. So what is happening, the poor people also watch that videos. Tier 2, 3 cities, young people also watch that videos. And they don't realize about the deficiencies they are going to get after turning into vegan. So if you see that this thing will, ये जो deficiencies है ना, इसको और ज़्यादा कम मतलब बढ़ाने वाला है अगर हम इस तरह से ही इस मूवमेंट को चलाएंगे. My concern is why go for emotional appeal rather than why can't we just...
I'll tell you why. Because human beings are not rational. You have being a YouTube content creator making such rational content, you would have gotten so many crappy comments on your comment section. Humans are not rational, bro. You and me might be rational. We might be able to sit and talk like this. Yes. Humans are...
And this is the problem, no? Because this kind of video where someone is slaughtering an animal and the chicken puts in the cages, and these videos hit us emotionally.
Yes.
And what happened? Somebody see that video and they reach to your pages and see a couple of videos, and he without realizing that this may be in long term give him some deficiencies, he turned into vegan. This is happening actually.
May I just correct that and say it will turn into deficiencies if done inappropriately?
Yes.
If done so not it will. If done incorrectly, it will.
तो वो होता ही है ना, क्योंकि मैंने जो एक्सपीरियंस किया है, होता क्या है कि लोग उन वीडियोस को देखते हैं, देखने के बाद वो इमोशनली उनसे हिट करते हैं, वो कहते हैं यार ये तो मैं बहुत गलत कर रहा हूँ, मैं मिल्क प्रोडक्ट खा रहा हूँ, मैं चिकन खा रहा हूँ, और वो उसको हटा देते हैं. उसको रिप्लेस करने के लिए वो कुछ नहीं करते, क्योंकि उसको समझने के लिए थोड़ा सा दिमाग चाहिए, आपको सर्च करना पड़ेगा, पढ़ना पड़ेगा, और वो जैसे आपकी वो 90 मिनट वाली लॉन्ग वीडियो है, इतना पेशेंस रखना पड़ेगा कि आप उस पूरी वीडियो को देखो और उसमें जो बताया जा रहा है उसको समझो. एंड मोस्ट ऑफ द पीपल इन इंडिया दे डोंट डू इट.
I understand that. I agree with you. And it's not just most people, even within the vegan community, like you said, there are many vegans for multiple years they've been vegan. They themselves are still deficient and they don't take, like they say, no, I don't supplement with B12. No, I don't do unnatural things. I'm like,
उनसे प्राइड फील करते हैं, ये I don't take any supplement.
See, so I agree with you that is an issue. but stopping to do activism on behalf of the animals because people.
No, I'm not saying you stop the activism.
Okay.
I said emotional appeal के बजाय, why not go for a logical appeal?
I'm saying, so I personally do both. I speak logically. And since humans are emotional beings, I don't think there's anything wrong in appealing to our emotions. We are strongly wired that way as a species.
But the problem arises now, where when you appeal emotionally, then the people tend to catch that emotional appeal more than the rational appeal.
Right. But then what happens is that, which is why after that, I don't know if you've seen that, I always try people, I made that video, like I said, like around 4 or 5 months ago, and now it's got 40K views. I try my best to push as many people as I possibly can to go and see that video. But apart from that, what more can I do? Like I can put, you have the right to say, Arvind, if you're saying that people have to be vegan, you better give them the proper information for them to make the choice. Agreed, I'm with you. We have to educate them on a proper, healthy, plant-based diet, not just stop eating this. I get that. I am doing that. I am putting the information. But if people don't choose to reach it, who is accountable here then?
Yeah, I think इसको ऐसा भी तो कर सकते हैं ना कि जैसे कि वीडियो जैसे आप बनाओ, इस तरह की वीडियो बनाओ कि लोग उसको देखें और उसमें आप मतलब बताओ कि एक अपने पास ये ऑप्शन है एंड दैट ऑप्शन हैज, अगर इस ऑप्शन को आप चूज करते हो देन आप एनिमल क्रुएलिटी से बच सकते हो एंड दिस द ट्रेडिशनल ऑप्शन विच आर यू आर फॉलोइंग एंड मे बी दैट इज अ गुड थिंग टू डू rather than just putting those videos where someone is slaughtering and
no, see, it's important. I disagree. It's important that people do see the truth. If you are someone who chooses to eat meat, dairy, and eggs, I think at the very least you deserve to see the kind of pain and suffering you're causing. It is not fair to say, don't show that. We should show that. Why should we? Then what justice are we doing for the animals? Just because the person who's seeing this, excuse me. Just because the person who's seeing this is getting emotionally affected and is not willing to think beyond that and learn more, doesn't mean right now that we should not show the emotionally affecting part. They have to do both. And with modern day videos, these reels, but to be honest with you, I hate reels. These short form videos where you have only 1 minute to show. What can you teach people in 1 minute, man?
right.
But the algorithm is encouraging me to put content like that. So that's why I try to find a balance of both. As of now, when this debate thing is happening, I'm quite large on Instagram. I have like some 250,000 followers. And before this whole debate thing is going on, there used to be a video there like ultimate guide of how to go vegan. Click link here. And people can go and watch the video. Right now that the debate challenge is going on, I removed that from my bio and I put the debate challenge instead. But once this is all over, I'll put that again. But apart from that, I can guide. I can point the arrow. Go here, go here, go here. If they're like, oh, no, we won't go. I don't know if...
Humans are like this.
Yeah, see, that's how humans are. But what I'm saying is that we need then, not just Arvind, more people to be vegan and speak. Imagine if Arpit explains is a vegan, and Arpit is putting his video out saying that, look, I'm a vegan, this is what I eat, this is what vegans should eat. We have more awareness. So we need more people raising awareness like that. I agree, only putting out emotional content is not helpful here because this is not just something like you wear leather and now you don't wear. No, this is something biological you consume. Yeah. And what you consume affects your health. So it is very important that we do teach them about healthy plant-based nutrition.
Actually, I want to do that. You said that if Arpit become vegan and people...
What an amazing world it will be, yeah.
The Arpit become vegan and they tend to follow me.
Yeah.
But the problem is that they still not मतलब वो फिर भी वो जो इन्फॉर्मेशन है ना जो वीगन होने के लिए ज़रूरी है आपको वो चीज़ें पता होनी चाहिए कि अगर आप वीगन हो रहे हो तो ये चीज़ें आपको कंसीडर करनी है एंड वो नहीं सुनते उस चीज़ को मतलब
But that is, don't you agree, Arpit, that is irrespective of being vegan, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. There are plenty of non-vegetarians who eat only at fast food restaurants. They don't care about their health.
Yeah.
There are plenty of vegetarians who only go out there and eat chaat food. They don't care. And there are vegans also who are emotional who don't say. What I'm trying to say is that we vegans are not unique to this. Of course, vegans exist. I'm not denying what you're saying. But this exists with human beings, not just with vegans.
I think in India, why don't we go for that approach? That first thing we need to teach the Indians is how to eat a healthy food. Even our home cooked food, which we consider is healthy, it's not healthy.
No, by looking at modern medical standards, it's not. Yeah. Too much carbohydrates,
Too much
less
carbohydrate.
protein.
Protein is totally
less, hardly there. Yeah. If you're not a meat eater, protein is barely there in your plate.
So why don't we teach that? And in process of teaching that, we can also introduce veganism.
So the point is, it's good. So you know what? I will again make a note of that because I told you we'll come full circle for that. So I'll make a note of that point and come back that towards the end. But before that, we last got diverted here. I said that when the privileged class decides to start changing in mass, and we have millions of privileged people right now who are vegan. Again, by privileged, I mean if you have 120 rupees a day or less than that, it's not that expensive to be a vegan and get nutrients. By the way, this might be an issue for you as well. Earlier, have you seen or heard of this?
Yeah,
nutritional yeast. So B vitamins are very high in meat products. You can just sprinkle a little bit on your food and you get all the B vitamins for the day. And this will cost you what? 7 rupees per day. Again, folks, if you 8 rupees for your supplements, 7 rupees for your B vitamins, makes 15 rupees. Some soy chunks here and there, some whole grains, vegetables and fruits and nuts and seeds. Bro, that's $100. If you're privileged enough to spare 100 rupees every day, you can be a vegan. Would you agree with this statement, Arpit, or do you think that is wrong?
No, it's right.
It's a fair statement, right? So can everyone who's privileged with 100 rupees a day first please be vegan? And then let's not use people who are underprivileged than us as an excuse to not be vegan. Because, see, we never say, that poor person living in the slums, he can't buy an iPhone. Therefore, I won't buy an iPhone. That poor person living in that village, some third tier city, what's the word you use? Something you used the word. Some 3-tier city or third.
Tier 2, tier 3.
Tier 2, living in that place cannot get a college admission in this wonderful college. Therefore, I won't study there. What? Yeah. We don't think that way. Right. Then why do we think that way only when it involves veganism? That's an unfair way of thinking. Yes, again, note that you have brought many points to the table. I have not disagreed with any of them. I have agreed. You are bringing forth valid concerns. But none of those concerns should prevent us from becoming vegan ourselves or continuing to educate the public properly about veganism. And it's only when more number of people do change and speak up, we can see a shift. You are saying bro, there's a fire over there, it's burning. I'm like, okay, here's a hose, let's spray. But it's burning. No, spray it, bro. We'll spray it together. We'll all get together slowly, we'll put the fire out. It's okay, let's do it.
No, the problem is, like I said, I can promote. I can start promoting veganism.
No, but you go on first. No. Yeah, but I say don't. But yeah.
But the problem is, people will take that on my face value. That Arpit is promoting veganism. Arpit is vegan. Then okay, we should all. They don't go for the information which is necessary for
the peer-reviewed data and all of this.
मतलब उनको कैसे आप सिखाओगे? वो जस्ट आपको देखकर आपकी फेस वैल्यू पर कि अच्छा अर्पित वीगन हो गया, चलो हम भी वीगन हो गए, इसका मतलब ये करना अच्छा है, ये करना सही है, हम भी वीगन हो सकते हैं, और वो वीगन हो जाते हैं, वो जस्ट एनिमल प्रोडक्ट को अपनी थाली से हटा देंगे. एंड उस न्यूट्रिशनल जो गैप है उसको फिल करने के लिए वो कुछ नहीं करते. ये ऐसा होता है.
Again, I get that. See, again, what you're saying is that this problem exists. I agree. So how do we fix it is my question.
I don't have answer.
I just gave you the answer. The answer is, first of all, those of us who are sensible, rational, scientifically logical, sound, let us change and then let us be vegan and then spread the word properly.
I said. I totally, मैं आपकी जो आर्गुमेंट है मैं एग्री हूँ, ठीक है, मैं वीगन हो जाता हूँ, है ना, मैं वीगन हो गया और मैं चैनल पर बता रहा हूँ कि I turned into vegan and this is a good thing to do, but still the problem is that अगर उस चीज़ को लेकर मेरी फेस वैल्यू पर कोई वीगन हो जाता है और वो क्या करेगा, वो अपना जो एनिमल प्रोडक्ट जो भी दही, दूध दही या और एंड कर्ड एंड दोज चिकन वगैरह वो अपने प्लेट में से हटा लिया उसने, एंड उसकी जो न्यूट्रिशनल गैप है उसको फिल करने के लिए उसने कुछ नहीं किया, तो वो जो उसकी वजह से उसको जो प्रॉब्लम फेस करनी पड़ेगी, तो वो भी तो मेरे ऊपर रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी आ रही है ना कि यार वो मेरे को देखकर वीगन हुआ है, उसने देखा है कि यार अर्पित वीगन हो गया, देन आई टर्न इनटू वीगन.
Do you apply that logic to every other video you make?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, you are right now speaking against a particular, you see something happening in the political landscape, you see like something wrong is happening and you're speaking against that issue. Someone watches...
I always try to do whatever I am speaking. मैं कोशिश करता हूँ हर पर्सपेक्टिव से सोचने की, अगर कोई इसको देखेगा, इस कंटेंट को देखेगा, तो वो क्या कर सकता है, वो उसको देखकर उसके ब्रेन पर क्या इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा, उससे क्या स्टेप वो ले सकता है, ये मैं हमेशा सोचता हूँ. और यही जो चीज़ है जो मुझे बार बार, क्योंकि मैं देखता हूँ कि इंडिया के अंदर कितनी डेफिशिएंसी है। अगर मैं इस समझ को पैदा नहीं कर सकता लोगों के अंदर कि एक हेल्दी डाइट क्या होती है, वो एक हेल्दी डाइट की क्या वैल्यू है, और लोगों को इसके बारे में अवेयर नहीं कर सकता, तो मैं उन्हें वीगनिज्म के बारे में मुझे बताने में अंदर से मेरे को कहें कि वो कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं आता कि मैं लोगों को कह पाऊँ कि यार
I
आप
was
vegan
going to make
बनो।
a statement though. What I was going to say is that, did that rule apply to all of your videos is what I asked you, right? Let's say, for example, you make a video today condemning some kind of something happening in the political landscape. Something you feel is wrong happening in the country and you condemn it and you're saying maybe this political group or whatever is doing something wrong. One of your audience watches that video. He says, you know what Arpit says is right. And what this political group is doing is wrong. He decides to go and take with him a bunch of people and do some kind of violence there because he feels what that political party did is wrong. And let's say they ask him, they jail him, they ask him like, why did you do this? No. I saw a YouTuber and he said it's wrong and I agree with him. I was more passionate about it. Therefore, I was motivated to do this. Do you think really you motivated him to do something violent?
Yes,
Really?
अगर ऐसा होता है, yes, मैं अपनी वीडियो में इस चीज़ का बहुत ध्यान रखता हूँ. इवन आई टच वेरी सेंसिटिव थिंग्स इफ यू चेक माय वीडियोस, एंड आई स्टिल मैं इस चीज़ का इतना ध्यान रखता हूँ कि अगर मैं कोई सेंसिटिव टॉपिक को टच कर रहा हूँ तो उसको मैं इस तरह से कवर करूँ कि जो बंदा है वो वहाँ से एक समझ लेकर जाए, ना कि कोई इमोशनली जाकर वो कुछ ऐसा गलत कर दे, क्योंकि मुझे पता है कि ये चीजें इमोशनली कैसे लोगों को.
But you don't control the actions of, see, you can only control yourself. I can only control myself. You cannot control the other human being. If someone decides that, what if someone decides,
I cannot control 100% of them, but at least I can try to convince most of them that don't do any wrong things.
Yeah, agreed. But then you can only try. You cannot be 100% sure.
Yeah.
And if it still happens, I'm asking, are you accountable?
And if
wait. The question is that if someone still decides to go ahead and do something, are you accountable or not?
I tried my best, and if someone did, but at least I have that satisfaction that I tried my best. But in the veganism, I don't have that confidence.
My question is, are you accountable or not? If suppose someone watches your video and decides to do something bad insane, is Arpit accountable?
If I did my work whatever best way I can, then I said that
you're not accountable. Yes. Then. Okay. Wouldn't the same apply for veganism?
And that is the problem. वही कॉन्फिडेंस तो मुझे नहीं आता ना जब मैं veganism की बात करता हूँ. Then मुझे लगता है कि लोग उस चीज़ को उस जो मैं समझाना चाह रहा हूँ वो उस तरह से समझ नहीं पा रहे हैं, और इसीलिए मेरे को बार बार जो मैं वीडियोस बनाता हूँ, आप देखो, मैंने veganism को कंडेम नहीं किया है.
We're not talking about, again, we'll come about the, I know you don't condemn veganism. That's still, we're so, by the way, it's been almost 90 minutes as of now, but that will keep towards the end. We'll first finish this topic right now, we'll go to that then. But still, my point is two things. Number one, my reasoning when I talk to people is not to convince people to go out and speak about veganism. I just gave us an example. If Arpit did that, that would be great. My point is to convince people to become vegan. I will do the speaking. I will do the activism. That I am claiming to be Arvind, animal activist, right? That I will do that work. Not everyone needs to do the heavy lifting work. And I'll do it properly. But there is no excuse not to be vegan. And again, when I gave that statement to you regarding, you asked, what about the impoverished people in the country who cannot become vegan? Did you find my answer satisfactory? Do you think that really will close the gap if all privileged people tomorrow who have 100 rupees per day to spare, if they all say hypothetically now next 1 year time, they all became vegan, which means we have millions of vegans in India right now.
No, I totally agree.
No, so you agree with that point?
Yes.
So you agree that
I have no problem becoming vegan. I can become right now, but
my question was that.
I cannot suggest others that you also become vegan.
Two things. So number one, I am not asking you to suggest, by the way. If you don't want to, you don't have to, because that then falls into activism. Being vegan is different from being an advocate, right? That is two different things. If you don't want to be an advocate for veganism, don't be an advocate for veganism. I'm not asking you.
No, I have a reason. It's not like that. I don't know.
You have your reason. Fine. If that's your reason, means fine. Don't be. But I'm saying is don't be an advocate, but be a vegan is what I'm saying. Number one. And number two was my answer, because you brought up the point that what about the people who are underprivileged? I gave an answer for that. Was that satisfactory for you? Like, do you think what I'm saying rationally makes sense regarding underprivileged people?
Not 100%.
Okay. Which part do you disagree with?
That is good that you said that when the privileged people turn into vegan, then there is a market will
shift.
emerge.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that is good. But before that, the kind of activism we are seeing, that thing is also problematic. I think पता नहीं मैं आपको समझा पा रहा हूँ कि नहीं. तो प्रॉब्लम यही होती है कि जो एक्टिविज्म है उसको देखकर लोग इमोशन में आकर वीगन हो जाते हैं और अपनी डाइट को चेंज नहीं करते हैं, और उनके पास वो प्रिविलेज नहीं है या कहें वो पावर नहीं है अपने घर के अंदर कि अपनी मदर को या अपनी वाइफ को कह सके कि भाई अब हम खाने को, अपनी जो डाइट का जो पैटर्न है उसको हम चेंज कर देते हैं. वो नहीं है उनके पास. व्हाट मैक्स दे कैन डू कि ठीक है मैं आज से दूध नहीं खाऊंगा, आज से मैं चिकन नहीं खाऊंगा. दिस इज मच दे कैन डू. और बहुत सारे जो लोग हैं वो अनएम्प्लॉयड हैं ना, स्टूडेंट्स हैं जो कि पढ़ रहे हैं, उनके पास उतना पैसा भी नहीं है कि वो मतलब जो पैसा होता है आपके पास में, जब व्हेन यू आर अर्निंग देन यू हैव पावर, यू कैन से ओके अब से घर में ये आएगा, अब से घर में ये बनेगा. वो नहीं कर सकते हैं वो. This is the problem.
See, you're mentioning two things here. Number one, you're talking about vegans who particularly do not do activism in an effective way to educate the public on nutrition as well, and just leave an emotional message that then makes many people make a choice out of emotion and then later face the consequences. Number one. But then at the same time, you're also saying that even if we did speak up, the public will not listen either way. You're making both these statements. Am I right or wrong? No. The first statement was that there are vegans who are doing it in an incorrect way. Agreed? Yes. Number one. You also made a statement, for example, that you would not personally want to speak about veganism or educate people on it, because even if you did educate them, they still will not choose.
Yes.
So those who make
it should not choose. They turned into vegan without realizing that they have to change their diet in a certain way.
But you did make the statement that even if you did educate them on that, you told, bro, they won't listen to me. You told they still are. So even if we do it the wrong way, it's wrong. If we do it the right way, it's wrong. Is that what you're saying?
That is what I'm saying. That if in my suggestion, what I find is a better way to do is कि उनको एक हेल्दी डाइट क्या है पहले तो इसके बारे में एजुकेट करना जरूरी है कि दिस इज द हेल्दी डाइट, दिस इज यू शुड ईट, एंड इन दैट मैसेज वी कैन include veganism also, that this diet also you can follow and it has less cruelty and और इससे आप एनिमल क्रुएलिटी से भी बच सकते हो and you can achieve all the nutrients from it. I think this is the thing we should do.
Can or you should? That's the major question. When you give this message to people saying that this option is also available,
yes,
are you saying they can choose this option or they should choose this option?
We can say if you can, you should.
You should.
Yes.
That's a big difference between both of those words. Okay. Now, what we'll do is, we did speak around for 90 minutes right now, but we now have to enter into the main topic of veganism. Because without us speaking about this, everything is just going to go in circles. Because I can see that we agree on certain things, but you still disagree on certain things. And I'm not, first of all, obviously, like, at the end of the day, once we're done talking, or even right now, you are free in your life to do what you want. No one can force you to become a vegan. No one can compel you or anything. But so I don't know exactly what your mindset is right now. But now is, remember I told you in the beginning, like, Arpit, I want to talk to you about veganism logically, the philosophy. And once I'm done speaking about it, there will be absolutely crystal clear clarity for you as to what veganism is. I want to talk about that right now. Fair enough. We just move towards that.
Okay.
My first question for you will just be, how do you define veganism?
Veganism, it's a completely plant-based diet.
Okay, no. So vegan diet means yes, a plant-based diet, but veganism is actually a philosophy. Okay, it's actually a mindset. It's not necessarily a diet, even though food is involved. The philosophy, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah. The philosophy states that basically we humans are not superior to animals, and therefore we do not have the right to use or exploit them for any reasons. That is the definition of the word veganism. So it's not a diet. It's a philosophy. Now, if I have this philosophy in mind, obviously my diet is a plant-based diet because we know for getting meat, dairy, and eggs, but because vegans don't just eat vegan food. We don't wear leather, wool, or silk.
Yeah.
We don't go to the zoo or circus. We don't take part in animal sacrifice or using of animals, like, for example, say, riding a horse. We don't do that. We do not buy pets from pet breeders. Instead, if any stray animal is there, we adopt them into our house. We do not wear or use makeup that is tested on animals. So veganism is a philosophy where one rejects that animals are objects, that animals are inferior, and we should not exploit them. That is veganism. So you understand that, first of all, veganism is a philosophy. It's not just plant-based diet. Do you understand that part?
I have just one question.
Sure, please go on.
जो veganism की philosophy है, एक problem जो मेरे को थोड़ा सा आती है वो ये आती है कि as I said that you don't want to exploit animals.
That's right.
But in the agriculture, there is also exploitation of.
Are you talking about tilling of soil using the bullock cart? Is that what you're mentioning?
No. Lots of pesticide we use that kills lots of insects.
That's right.
That's also. And also, I find difficulty in understanding that there are some places on the earth. You cannot agriculture. There's only grasslands.
Right.
There is a seashores, and the only good amount of food which you can is from the seafood. So how vegans इसको कैसे handle करते हैं?
Okay, we'll go point by point. You just remember the points you made. We'll go by that. Number one is you mentioned about you say animals dying in the field when we're harvesting crops using pesticides and this stuff. You have to understand that when you talk about killing of another individual, be it a human or an animal, there are different levels to this. I'll explain them with logic to you. If I right now were to kill you, it will be called as a first degree murder. Manslaughter is the word, right? Say, for example, now I am driving on the road and you happen to not be looking at the road, not be in your senses, just walking, looking somewhere, and I accidentally hit you. That's not a first degree murder. That's not manslaughter. You know why? There was no intention to kill you.
Okay.
When you intend to kill someone, even in law, we call it as killing with premeditation. With premeditated murder. That means planning to kill someone. An accident is an accident. We can only try to reduce the number of accidents happening in this world. We cannot completely eliminate them because they were never done with the intent of killing. Do you agree with this statement?
But when we are putting...
We'll come to that. But first, this statement. The statement.
Yeah,
The statement,
right,
yeah.
Yes,
You can never eliminate accidents. You can try to reduce accidents.
Right.
But premeditated murder can be eliminated because it's always done with the intent to kill.
Right.
Okay. Third thing is being a part of a system in which you cannot escape from the system, because if you do, you'll die. But by being a part of it also, you still take part in violence that you are not even willing to take part in, but you have no choice for. For example, you and me as citizens of India, we pay taxes to the government. Did you know that our government has to give a specific amount of millions of dollars to the United Nations because we are a member of United Nations? United Nations takes part in peacekeeping missions around the world. Do you know what's a peacekeeping mission?
Yeah.
That is how they call that as peacekeeping mission, basically. We might sometimes agree with the violence happening there. We might sometimes disagree with the violence happening there. But you and me cannot say that Arvind and Arpit are not responsible for the killings happening there because it is our taxpayer money that has gone sent by the Indian government to the UN to fund that project. This is also a fair statement. So we now just see three different types here regarding humans. One is where one human kills another human with complete premeditation with the intent to kill. Second is where we kill another human being where we did not intend to kill them, but it happened to be an accident. Third, we now see where we kill another human being, where we are part of a system. We can suddenly say, like, I'll stop paying taxes tomorrow. India is funding this thing. For example, during the Sri Lankan civil war that happened like around some 15 years ago, the Indian government they didn't send our troops over there, but I believe that they helped by sending satellite images of what's happening in those islands to the Sri Lankan government. They were a part of the whole expedition. They're helping them, which means our taxpayer money was used to kill people. So does that make you a first degree murderer? No. If you happen to kill even a dog by accident, is that intention or is that an accident? Accident. Yeah. But when we pay someone to eat meat, dairy, when we pay for meat, dairy and eggs, are we killing and exploiting animals with premeditation or is it an accident? Be honest,
we can save them, yes.
It is because it is a completely done with intent to kill. Now, what talking about pesticides?
But the same thing is happening in the pesticides also now.
Exactly.
If we are putting the pesticide, we know that we are going to kill them.
We are doing it for killing them only. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. As a vegan, I never make the statement, vegans live lives without killing animals. Or veganism means don't. You know when I defined the philosophy, I did not use the word kill anywhere there. You notice that?
Okay, maybe
I said we do not exploit animals. We do not view them as inferior to us. And we do not, use them like objects. That's the words I used. I did not say kill for a simple reason. You can't live in this world without killing animals.
Yes.
I support killing animals. There are reasons to kill animals. There are also reasons to kill humans. If there is a man who's a terrorist coming in here to kill us, I expect my army to come forward and defend me. I can't that time be like, I'm a human rights defender. Please don't kill the man who's going to kill me. That's madness. Similarly, a mosquito bites me. What do? I kill because I don't want dengue or malaria. I'm defending myself. If, for example, this latest stray dog issue that came up all over India, you are from Delhi, you'll know this very well. I don't know whether you know my take on this, but that is not at all similar to veganism because in that scenario, the dog is attacking the human.
Yeah.
Humans are dying. It's not a scenario where only the humans are the violent ones to them. They also are violent to us at times. Of course, that's a different issue altogether, but it doesn't fall under veganism because the human is doing this in an act of self-defense, not with malicious intent just to kill a dog. You get that? Similarly, when you are right now harvesting crops, or you are having some resource that you need for yourself to survive, but if the resource is taken from you, you will die, you have to defend that resource. For example, water. If there was limited water here right now and too many people, which hope never comes to that, there will be war. Countries go to war for water. Similarly, you have in a godown right now with you tons and tons of grains and vegetables and rice and other things, which you have to consume to survive. If you don't, you'll die. When rats come in there, when other animals come in there that could potentially spoil the food, like cockroaches, that could then make it inedible for you, you have to defend your crops. Now, at the moment in time, we defend them by killing off the so-called animals. Now, I cannot escape from the system and be like, because this happens, I will completely stop eating food. You get my point, right? So, 1 second. Sorry.
Yeah, we can change the battery now.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, drink some water.
No problem. Also,
So I think 1.5 hour.
Yeah, 1.5 hours.
Because you want to keep it uncut, right?
Yeah, but we can cut for
So
now.
one will keep rolling.
Oh, it's rolling right now?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So one is also kept rolling, but let me change it solo.
Yeah. No worries.
but I wanted to comment on the way you're sitting.
Oh, that's what's the
See, since you're tall, no, you're not sitting like him. You're a bit like.
Oh,
If the chair thing is a bit to the back, maybe you can relax like this.
you want me to like just pull it this way?
No. Give yourself more space to.
Spread my legs, you mean?
Like that. See, now
Oh.
you are like this. You've been like this the whole time.
Okay.
Yeah, this is better.
So yeah, folks, the camera is still running. We're not going to cut this. Just to let you guys again know that everything is uncut.
Yeah.
No editing just to make someone else look bad. So. I expected our conversation will go long. I expected this.
There is one more point I think I should mention previously, but let's see.
Yeah, we'll cover this. Sorry. Look, I told you, we've booked the studio for 4 hours, man.
Okay.
I have no problem. I'm here to do this. Okay, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
And in case you forgot, he mentioned Acharya Prasad. I think you did.
But yeah, we can go. Yeah, I'll try to. There's just so much.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of a podcast. Even if it's the podcast, only so much we can talk.
But his people love him. Yeah.
I am not such a big supporter, so I don't really have much to defend there. I defend animals, not necessarily individuals who defend. I have respect for people who defend animals, but I defend animals. So yeah. And yes, whatever your question is, we won't make a note of it, but I would want us to cover this stuff first, and I'll answer this question, and then we'll move forward.
Okay.
Is that rolling right now, by the way? That is rolling right now? Yeah. Something is rolling. Okay. But let me know when it's done. Then we will continue.
The key changed, right? The position?
No,
Same going?
like when he like looks at him.
Okay.
Again, I'll do 3, 2, 1. Yep. 3, 2, 1.
Okay, we last left off where I was saying that now we are now using pesticides and other things to kill off these animals because that is the current system. The current system doesn't, to be perfectly honest, doesn't really care much for humans, doesn't care for animals at all, and doesn't care anything about insects or other animals we've labeled as pests. If we were living ideally in a vegan world, yes, animals will still be getting killed, but we will again try to minimize that as much as possible by putting forth barricades so that the animals cannot obviously get to the food and stuff. But right now, like I told you, how you pay taxes and the tax money could be used for something wrong. I'm also a part of the system and the system is messed up. But I can't escape from the system. If I have to escape, means I have to start starving. That's the only escape. So just like that, at the moment, I'm saying when it comes to veganism, let's stop the premeditated first degree slaughter of animals. The other two accidents and systematic problems are acknowledged completely by me. But we will get to them once we solve this. Without solving this, we cannot solve even those. If people are okay with purposely killing an animal, you think they give a crap when you say, well, by accident we kill animals, well, we use bug spray on animals, they won't care. So that's an issue which we vegans acknowledge. We will solve it. But let's not use that as reasoning to ignore the first degree murder which we can stop. Is my reasoning valid or invalid? Please explain.
It's valid. But I think there are people who go to that extent that they don't kill even mosquitoes.
That is their problem. So again, under the purview of veganism, you are allowed, just like a simple thing, bro, under the purview of human rights, I'm a decent person. But if someone tries to attack my wife, I'll try to F him up.
Yeah.
That's basic thinking, right? So similarly, if you are, what are you going to say? Like if an animal is not, when is the last time a cow, a chicken or a pig attacked you? Exactly, never. But no, you don't attack chickens and pigs, you attack cows and buffaloes. We'll come to that. So my point is that, so when you brought up that point, are you satisfied with my answer?
Yeah.
Or do you feel no, Arvind's ideology is flawed? You can be honest.
Yeah, I think I am.
It's fair. It's not ideologically flawed at all because accidents can be reduced, not eliminated.
I think we should accept this thing that if we want to survive, that we have to do some sort of cruelty to some creatures.
You can stop the intentional ones done. The ones that happen by accidents, we can try to reduce. And the ones currently that is happening in the name of self-defense and which are systemic and cannot be stopped immediately, we can try to stop once we create a system where animals are recognized as individuals.
No, do you want that animal should be recognized as individuals?
Yes, the ideal world is a world in which animals in human society are not, right now they're considered as commodities. You know what's a commodity? Like this water bottle, like this writing pad. Right. That's what they're considered as. The moment we say they're not commodities, they are individuals, you can't just stick a barcode on them and sell them and auction them. They have the right to live free.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's a good thing. That's the point.
But do you think that thing can be achieved like that agriculture part where we put pesticides? So don't we consider them at individual?
We do. But again, this individual is trying to take something away from me, but if it is taken away, it will lead to my death.
Okay.
Do you understand that?
Okay.
If they eat the food or spoil the food, I'll die. That's when I defend. I don't go out of my way to...
Okay.
For example, a rat that comes to the godown to then maybe urinate on the food and then eat the food and spoil the food is not the same as the rat whose eyes were keeping open and pouring in some detergent liquid to see whether that makeup will work good on my face or not. Vegans are opposing the exploitation. But if a rat does try to harm me or harm my resources, I will defend myself.
So I think you also have no point in opposing the animal testing also in that.
I am opposing it. Yes, of course. Like I just
You
told-
oppose it? Then how?
That's what I said right now. If we have a rat who's in a lab where they're pouring chemicals in their eyes just to check whether that chemical will hurt my skin in case I use some makeup, I'm opposing it. Vegans do not use makeup that is tested on animals. If you take some makeup brands in the back,
No, but it's not about only makeup. It's life-saving drugs also.
Exactly. Now that's a fair point. So again, this is one of the few areas where vegans openly admit we don't have a solution. I cannot tell someone to not take a drug because again, their life is on the line. And the thing is that right now there are individual groups within the vegan movement which are fighting to stop this animal testing and instead bring forth other things. Like right now we have the technology to even harvest human organs out of a petri dish. We just take one cell and we can make it grow into a human kidney.
No, but that whole organism on we test and on just one organ, that's the big difference. So
But you were testing on a rat or a monkey or a pig versus testing on a human organ you have made in a lab. Which do you think is more accurate for human beings?
I think some drugs we need some individual or some whole organism so that we can see how it's working in a living body.
So I am not an expert on that field to comment or say I know exactly in detail about such stuff. But what I do know is that alternative methods for even what you said are available because I have friends who are scientists who are involved in that part. They focus only on stopping animal testing. That is what they're focusing on right now, their efforts and issues. But right now, you have to understand that and I don't have a solution to something, I cannot condemn it. I mean, I can say it's wrong, but my condemnation means nothing. Even if I am sick tomorrow, I'll go to a doctor. And doctor will obviously give me medications. And I'll take the medications because right now my life is on the line. So when your life is on the line, I'm not justifying that. We have to move towards a system where we even remove animals from medical testing. And there are vegans who are working on that specifically. But until we reach that point, let's not say that the things that are in our control, we will ignore those. You get my point? Like again, I'm telling you, if say it this way, you tomorrow buy a house, okay? And it's a nice, beautiful house, everything is great. Can you 100% assure to me that every single person who worked in constructing that house was paid fairly? Can you assure me that every single person who worked in that house, they were given injury prevention headgear, proper shoes and stuff, and then they were paid fairly, and there was no elderly person who was forced to work over the clock and then hurt their own bodies in making a house? You can't give me that guarantee, but you still buy the house, right? That does not necessarily now make you a human rights violator because within your power, there's only so much. But that does not now justify you going and committing first-degree murder. You get my point, right? There are scenarios both in human rights and in animal rights where things are not perfect because this world and society is just messed up. We vegans want to clean it all up. We are taking full responsibility. We want to clean all of it up.
I know that, but I just doing this for the philosophy you gave.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so that's the whole thing. Like I told you, there are a few areas right now I can be open with you. We vegans don't have a solution. One of them, for example, like you said, is animal testing. Second thing is, for example, even if I right now buy some kind of plant-based food to eat, that food we may have to use an ox or something as a bullock cart to bring that food from village to here. I don't know if it's done or not. But then if I have to find that out, I have to stop eating completely. We can't tell. It's not if it's labeled and marked, I'll pick the one without the bullock cart. Right. For example, there are some oils in the market which are ground using an industrial grinder. There are some that are purposely sold saying that we make oil the old-fashioned way, and they even have a picture of a bull that is going in circles, grinding the till seeds into oil. I won't buy from them. When it's clear for me that they do use animals, I will not.
And there are lots of products where the human exploitation also involved.
Exactly. So, but that doesn't mean right now that we have to reject a message that says let's not commit first-degree murder on animals. You get my point? That's what I'm saying. So coming back to this, so that's what this we took some time. That's what veganism means, and that's the definition of it. Now, my next point to you is how do we humans find out whether what statement we're making is rational or irrational? Do you know? Do you have any thoughts on that?
I think the rationalist statement has some elements which you can check and reconfirm that.
Exactly. So basically what is done is that when we have a particular, say someone's making a statement, like right now you said, not you just say someone is saying, Arvind, when you walk on the road, you accidentally step on an ant. Are you a vegan? I might be when you're driving on the road, you accidentally kill someone. Does that make you a human rights violator? So what we did right now was we took the statement that person said, took the logic out of it and put it in another scenario. If it works in that scenario, good. You put it in 10 different scenarios. It's working in every scenario, good. Logical statement. If it's working in only in one scenario, but not working in the other scenarios, then either it's an exception which we have to then explain properly, or it's an illogical statement. We take the logic, because right now when I told you we don't exploit animals, you were smart. You were like, hey, but what about animal testing for drugs? See, you're taking that logic and applying it elsewhere, which is exactly what any logical person should do. That's how you find out if something is logical or not. Have you heard of a word called logical fallacies?
Yes.
And you agree that if something is a fallacy, it is wrong?
Yes.
There's no argument when it comes to this. Okay, fine. So my then next question would be is, we as human beings, I know your answer, but I'm still asking, we as human beings, on what do we base how our society should run? My question is, should we just say, hey, there's a book over here. This book was given to us 1,000, 2,000, 4,000 years ago. Somebody said this book has the meaning to life and everything. It is given by the divine power, whatever. Or should we and never question the book? That is one option. Another option is, let us as human beings sit down, use our brain and think rationally and find out what makes sense and what doesn't make sense, as things that could be written in a book and could not be questioned could potentially be dangerous and harmful. What should be the right way? The book or rational thinking?
Rational thinking.
Of course, I know that, but still I had to go with it step by step. Okay. With all of this being said right now, I want you to just say to me, would you agree if I made a statement saying that in human society, the value of an animal's life is equal to the value of a human's life?
No.
You will not agree. Okay.
No, I'm not saying, right now it's not like that.
It's not like that, but what do you think though, as an individual? I mean, individuals have different opinions.
I think it would be difficult because I see that if you put that thing, then we have animal testing like things that happening, and we need that for life-saving drugs also. And like we discussed earlier, the pesticide thing.
But the pesticide happens when the animal tries to attack the resources. That is different.
But they are not consciously attacking. Then they don't know that if they attack.
It doesn't matter. What if a thief comes to steal my money?
No, if a thief consciously knows that their intent to steal your things, but that insects don't have that intent.
Yeah, they don't have.
He's just doing his things.
But even the thief, we don't know what his background is. What if he's been starving for 3 days? He doesn't. He's like, dude, if I was in your situation, Arvind, I would be happy. If you were in mine, you'd be a thief. We don't know. Sometimes maybe situations push us towards doing something.
No.
No. But what if someone has been starving for 3 days? They have no food.
Those insects are doing their things. They have no intent to harm you.
Right.
You know? They're just doing what they are made for. The nature made for them for do this thing.
Yes.
And you are putting pesticide because you think that.
Okay. Let's say, for example, you have excess amount of money with you which you don't need. Let's say the day you die, you will be leaving behind this much money, which let's say we know how much you leave behind and you don't need. Right now you're standing in the road. Someone is coming, putting their hand into your pocket, taking out your purse and taking 500 rupees and being like, I am hungry, bro. You either way will not be using this. You have enough for yourself. Let me take and eat with this. Will you let that happen?
No.
Why not? You will not need the money. You already have excess money. So
excess money. So if he is stealing, that is not correct. He can ask me that I want.
If he asks, what if you don't give? But he is saying you don't need this. I need this. I'll die if I don't take your money.
No. If he is stealing, that is wrong. If he is asking me that I am hungry and I
am saying he's putting his hand in your pocket and taking it and saying to you, this is my money, bro. Please, I am hungry. Here, take the remaining. I need this. He is saying to you clearly, you also can eat with that money. You won't die. I will use this money and I eat. I also won't die. Would you agree with that?
Maybe I let it do, but I think this is not.
If I come and take your money, you let me do that.
This is not morally good thing to do.
Okay. But what I'm trying to say is that different scenarios different circumstances lead to different actions. Okay. Be it when it comes to humans. When it comes to these animals, they do not come with an intent to steal. but their intentions regardless, because of their actions, I might potentially die or suffer. Which is why if someone were to come to your house, even if he's saying, don't worry Arpit, I'll take only just enough money for me to survive and I'll leave the rest for you, you'll still also be happy, you still can allow that. That is not with your consent, right? What is your resource is your resource.
Yes.
Only with your willingness and consent can I take it, else I cannot.
Yes.
And you will call the police. You will not be like, so then it's the same thing happening here. So I'm saying that the difference between animals that come and try to take our resources, for their survival, I get it, they're doing that one, versus an animal which we are intentionally now breeding into existence in order to test on them. These are two different things. Do you agree or disagree on this?
Yeah, I agree.
Are you satisfied? You don't have to say it for me. You have to be honest.
No, the animals we are growing for
animal testing, I'm talking
animal
about,
testing.
Yeah.
But that too, we need.
So the thing is that we actually don't. The companies that breed these animals into existence, they need a profit. They're doing it for money. Okay.
But also the things which they are selling are saving lives of many.
But you will also find out that 50% of the trials that pass through rats don't have the same effect on humans. It's like flipping a coin. 50 of them do work, 50% don't work. I don't have the exact research with me on hand right now. I can put it on screen if you want to see. It doesn't all. What I'm saying is there are other methods, and the animal rights people, the vegans, have already created these methods. They are just saying, please implement them. But the billionaires on top who make money by selling these animals, they are saying, screw you, because we want the money. This is no longer an issue of technology. We have the technology. We even have technology right now to produce meat in a laboratory. We have,
but it's expensive.
That's the whole point. The technology is there, but the people who are already making money are saying, why should we help you? Because we are set. System is great for us. Screw you.
No, I don't think this is.
Dude, funding is literally the reason for this. That's why. Technology exists. We have the technology.
No, technology exists, but it's not commercially viable. That's why it's not happening.
It is. We don't know until we try. It can work. If we can find a system where testing on rats works, I'm pretty sure we can find a system where testing on human organs works.
No, not the same way. The testing on a whole organism, a living organism, and some sort of organ, it's two different things.
That's what I'm saying. Again, I do not know for that one particular example you're saying. I do not know how it works. But maybe when I'm editing, maybe I can put up like a study or something that shows this can be done. But I know for a fact that we have the technology that can pretty much replace everything right now. We can replace all the animals from testing right now and still continue our research. It is being done because people who are breeding those animals, they earn money by doing it, and it is being pushed that we should do it this way because that's what continues to make the people in power still be in power. Because if that person right now can no longer sell the rats or monkeys that they're breeding, their business is gone. Right?
As much I know about the market, if there is a commercially viable option and it's less cruel and it's commercially viable, everyone will adopt it.
My friend, then the whole world will be vegan right now. If you really think that's how this world works.
Yes, I know that there is with the animal. I say the that. What I say.
Okay, but if you want, you can gather your thoughts. But this is where we left off. I asked you this question, and again we went into this. Is the value of an animal in society is it wrong for me to say animal life equals to human life in terms of value, based on Arpit's thought process, not what society thinks, not what others think?
Yes, previously what I was saying that if there is a commercially viable option to produce lab-grown meat, which is equally good as
it's
the meat
better
we
in every
produce,
way, but yes, go on.
Then I don't think there is any thing which stop it.
There is power. Power is important because yes,
if
meat. Go on. Yeah.
अगर मेरे पास कोई ऐसा ऑप्शन है, अगर मेरे को पता है मेरे पास एक ऐसा प्रोडक्ट है जिसमें कि क्रूएलिटी नहीं है और वो इकोनॉमिकली भी बढ़िया है, वो मतलब कमर्शियली भी बहुत अच्छा है, तो भाई कौन रोक सकता है मेरे को? मैं तो उसको मार्केट में लॉन्च करूंगा, लोगों को बोलूंगा भाई देखो इसमें क्वालिटी नहीं है और ये बिल्कुल इक्वली गुड है, जैसा कि आप जो स्लॉटर हाउस से जो मीट आता है उसके जैसा ही है.
So that's what you're saying, right?
तो लोग क्यों नहीं उसको खरीदेंगे?
So that's what you're saying, right? There will be thousands of other people who do farming with animals the traditional way and be like, he is selling you chemical poison. They will spend their money to put down your message for a simple reason. They don't care whether what you're saying is true or false. Their current system works. Yes or no? Their current system gets them billions of dollars. Yes or no?
कुछ भी बोलेंगे, लेकिन मेरे पास तो लैब टेस्टिंग है ना. मैं कहूंगा भाई लैब टेस्ट करा लो, पता चल जाएगा कि आपका ज्यादा अच्छा है, मेरा ज्यादा अच्छा है. भाई आपके वाले में तो आपने उसमें एंटीबायोटिक्स वगैरह भी दिए हुए हैं, मेरे में तो कोई एंटीबायोटिक भी नहीं है.
See, I agree. That's what you're saying. Maybe if you are in a position of power, I'm not saying everyone is like that. Maybe you might be a unique individual who thinks that way. People in power don't think that way, bro. Change is dangerous. What if they make that change and they lose power? What if they no longer make as much money as before? You understand it's all driven based on profit in mind, right?
It is profit in mind,
Yeah.
I know. But the market shifts. If those who are growing the animal
why shift the market when it's already in my favor?
No, those who are investing in the animal livestock and animal production, meat production, they will invest elsewhere.
Why should they invest when their current investment is already getting them beautiful returns? Why make the risk at all?
Because that investment also make them beautiful returns.
Why make the risk though? Why should we have to see? If you are saying that that's also an option available, they might consider. But you're telling them to shift their entire system they're currently doing from this to that, means why will they risk that?
As a businessman, if I think if I have the product which is cruelty free and equally good as meat, I think it's...
Well, let me tell you some facts right now. In America, they managed to bring forth this so-called lab-based meat in multiple different states. And guess what? They got banned in every single state because there's something called lobbying. You know what lobbying is? When the rich businessmen use all of their money to bring forth propaganda against a particular product. Like, for example, there was suddenly one, I don't know when this suddenly started, when I was like probably in school. They were saying that there is in all these soft drinks, there is pesticide. There is things that they use in chemicals. You know about that? When we were children, that was happening. And suddenly there was this thing saying that sugar kills you. So now suddenly 0 sugar, 0 calorie drinks came out. Okay. When there is a pressure happening in the market, yes, change will be made to continue getting the same amount of money. But here, by lobbying, they are spending millions of dollars to purposely portray meat that is grown in a lab, saying it's unnatural, which it is, I understand. It's apparently chemical based. Everything on earth is a chemical. We understand this, but what will the general public think? The public you've been speaking about all this time. Oh my God, unnatural and chemical based. I will not eat this. And then they will go and use their power and money. This is happening. They banned this in every single state it was released. It has been banned in the US. Check it up. Every single state that released lab-based meat has banned it right now. Why? Because
based on they banned on based on some research or just...
You can say that they have some research backing them. I'm not exactly sure. But the point is that millions of dollars are spread. It's called the status quo. You know what status quo means? What is currently happening and what is currently considered as normal. People do not want to change that, especially people in power, people who are... It's a simple thing. If there's a current narrative right now for a politician where he can appeal to the majority, say that they're superior, and say that the ones who are weaker are inferior. And by keeping it that way, he can continue to be in power till the end. Will he do that or will he fight for equality? Majority of politicians, what will they do?
No, they will go for
Keep
the power.
it that way. They'll do what?
Go for the power.
Exactly. What makes you think business people are different? You might be different. I don't know. I can assure you that Abraham Lincoln wasn't like that.
No,
He was
but the business और तरह से काम करता है. बिजनेस में क्या है कि अगर आपके पास एक अपॉर्चुनिटी आपको दिख रही है कि यार ये अपॉर्चुनिटी एक ऐसी है, अगर मैं इसको अडॉप्ट करता हूँ तो मैं बहुत अच्छा प्रॉफिट कमा सकता हूँ. Whatever, मतलब आपके जो काम आप कर रहे हो ना, वो आपके भले ही आपके एथिक्स के अगेंस्ट भी, मतलब आपके जो काम आप करने वाले हो आपके एथिक्स के अगेंस्ट भी जाएगा ना, तो भी आप करोगे. बिजनेस वो चीज़ है. बिजनेस अगर आपको प्रॉफिट दिख रहा है वहाँ पर, आपके एथिक्स के अगेंस्ट है, तब भी आप उसको करने.
That is true. I understand what you said and I agree with you. But regardless, what I am saying is what's currently happening. People in power will not want change, as change could question their status of power. That's why. Now, we've been going on this topic for a few circles, but I'm assuring you that is exactly what's happening, and that's what's stopping both in terms of animal testing and in terms of lab.
I think I have to read it about it.
Please do. I can definitely, I'll share links and I'm putting this video up about that on screen. That's what's happening. They do not want to change what's currently existing, because that will question their power and financial interest. Even if you say it's beneficial for them, they'll say to you one simple thing. Why should I care, Arpit? Already everything is working fine. It's working like clockwork for me. It's been working like this for decades, since my grandfather was there. I should change right now? Why? That's why. For power. But anyways, finally my question again, I repeat for the third time. This time no more sidetracked. If I make a statement that human life is equal to animal life, is that you believe from a logical perspective false or true? Like comparing, say for example, some violence is happening to humans, and then I'm comparing that with animals. Is that a valid comparison, or do you think it's an illogical, unfair comparison?
So you are saying that like if we kill a human and
It's the same as killing a chicken. Yeah.
killing a chicken.
Yeah, exactly same. 100%.
And
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
we have to have the same law that apply to killing a human and also to the chicken also.
Hell yeah. Yes, that's my statement.
Okay.
Now, do you think that's a logical one or an illogical one? Feel free to answer.
I think until we have that animal testing is here and the pesticide thing is here, it's difficult for me to...
But Arpit, why don't you say that until we prevent all accidents happening on roads, until we prevent my taxpayer money being... Because there could be many police around living in India who misuse their power, who do horrible things to people, and it's our taxpayer money that is paying them to do this. Yes or no? True or false? True. So why don't you ever say there are so many accidents happening on roads? I use electricity. So many people get current shock and die every single day. People who work in nuclear power plants get exposed to radiation and get sick in the long run. But I still enjoy privileges of nuclear power, and I pay taxes which can sometimes be misused by people in power and used to kill people. That not is happening. Therefore, I will. That's an issue. Therefore, I don't think stopping the first-degree murder of human beings is very important right now. Why don't you make such a statement?
No. There is difference.
What is it? What's the difference? Yeah.
Those things you are mentioning, those are just accidents. We have not no intention to kill them. Like we are driving a car and somebody comes in front of and get killed. That is different. And where in the animal testing, we are intentionally doing that thing.
Which is why I said animal testing is that one area, along with using of bullock carts for plowing fields, that I'm admitting we vegans don't have an answer to. We don't.
Yeah.
I'm asking you also.
No, until we have that answer, how can I get agree to that that killing an animal or exploiting an animal is the same as exploiting a human?
Because based on the logic, because based on biology. Based on biology. That's the question is, what is the biological difference? Because you are stuck in a system where you can't change that right now. How can you say that all children on earth, human children, are the same when our taxpayer money is being used by the United Nations to do God knows what in the name of peacekeeping missions? You might agree with the United Nations on something, you probably disagree with them on other geopolitical issues. But they do kill humans.
Yeah.
Your taxpayer money is being used for that, Arpit. So how can you now say we should now take care of all children here when your money is clearly being used to kill children elsewhere, kill humans elsewhere? Provide politicians and people in power, such as authorities like police people, to give them their money so that they can then do whatever they want. Your money is being used for that. So until you solve that, will you not condemn murders happening in this country?
I think.
Do you get my point? And
yes.
that is so much. See, even when it comes, bro, everything on earth is messed up. Just because, what I'm trying to say is this. Let's say, for example, you're a firefighter, okay? And you get a call that in a room there's a burning is happening, is all full of fire, and there are like some 50 people stuck inside. You know for a fact, looking into the window, you can only save 35 people. You cannot save 15 people. 100% you know that from your experience, okay? Now, will you make a statement, since I can't save everybody, might as well let everybody die? Or at least I will try to save those 35 even though I cannot save everybody. What will be the answer?
Yeah, at least I try to save some of them.
So if you said the opposite, it's called as an appeal to futility fallacy. It's a literal logical fallacy, what you're saying. Appeal to futility fallacy means that just because I can't do everything perfectly right now, nothing makes sense. And if you want to live by that logic, you have to live by that logic both with humans and animals is what I'm saying. In terms of humans, how messed up is it? You know how many women suffer harassment and so many other things? Just because there are so many problems happening elsewhere doesn't mean that we should now stop taking accountability on actions we can take accountability for. Certain things are 100% within our control. Let us first address them with full open mind and open heart. Those other things that are not entirely in our control right now, as a vegan, I never once said to you, No, animal testing is not wrong. Oh, no, we don't kill insects. I never said that. I am admitting, you're right. It's a problem. We're working on it. We will solve it. We are working on it. But here's another solution. Here's another problem to which we have a perfect solution. Go vegan right now. It's done for. Why reject? If you say no because you don't, Arvind, you don't give me 100% pure answer that solves everything, you are dealing with an appeal to futility fallacy.
No, I'm not saying that turning a vegan.
But you made a statement right now saying that if you don't have an answer for this medical testing part, how can you say a human life is equal to animal life? That means, what does that mean?
That statement is, I think, I don't know why have a problem accepting that. Maybe some kind of, I say, logical dilemma is coming on the way. But I have no problem in becoming vegan. And I think it's the best thing a person can do. But if we say that human life is equal to animal life, that statement comes with some kind of logical dilemma.
By all means, throw everything at me.
Okay. Let's imagine a situation where there are 5 people, and doctor can save 4 people's life by just killing one person and using that organ to transplant those 4 person. This be the logical thing to do?
No, because I would say that unless that one person consents to it, no. It's not about number of lives saved. It's about each and every single individual having the right to life and right to decide, right to their own bodily integrity. If my father or someone is ill and I'm saying, please take half my liver, take 1 kidney and give it, totally fine. I'm consenting to it for my father.
Yeah.
But you cannot suddenly now put chloroform and take 1 kidney and be like, he'll survive with 1 kidney, bro. I'll sell this other on the black market. That doesn't work. You get my point? Consent is important. If a human being consents to it, I'm fine. An adult human being knowing the repercussions, consenting, totally fine. No consenting, answer is no. Doesn't matter that we can save 1 life or we can save 1,000 lives. Each individual life matters, and their bodily integrity and their right to life should always be given value. That is my statement.
Yes. So, yeah, but that वही एनिमल टेस्टिंग वाला जो पार्ट है ना, वो थोड़ा सा मतलब वहीं पर प्रॉब्लम है, क्योंकि वी आर डूइंग दैट थिंग देयर एंड those animals they don't know what is happening to them.
Absolutely. And again, when did I not acknowledge that? See, if I didn't acknowledge it or I tried to brush it off,
and if I accept that statement that human life is equal to animal life, and then how will I consume those drugs if I need?
Because that's what in the system right now you're cut. Then how are you paying taxes, Arpit? How can you pay tax returns? Don't show your income tax anymore. Stop it completely. Whenever someone puts GST, say, no, I will not pay the GST. I'll pay only for the bill I'll pay. Is that possible? It doesn't. See, you again, it is a logical fallacy. You are engaging, and that's because, you know why? You're a rational person. You're asking the right questions. You're asking the absolute right questions because you as a rational mind is like, this fellow is saying we should not kill and the same to animals, but animal testing is happening. Yeah, you're right. Yes. But guess what? I'm stuck. I'm stuck right now. I don't know what to do. So, and I'm saying there are thousands of vegans fighting against this every single day, focusing only on ending animal testing. The fight is already going on. It's happening as we speak. Various organizations trying to make changes. At least if not, okay, from now on, instead of using rats, we will move on to this particular organization. They're doing whatever they can to make these changes. There is something slowly they're trying to make it happen. But my point is that it falls under an appeal to futility because you're saying the vegan ideology is imperfect because in the current system, vegans cannot escape the medical system. Is it a fair way to phrase it? And I agree. And in the current system, you cannot excuse yourself from paying taxes. You can't excuse yourself from being involved. Like, for example, you might vote for one particular political party hoping for one thing. They might do something completely different when they come to power. And that might go completely against your ethics. Can you say you will not be a part of society just because there are many very wrong things happening? No. You sometimes have to be a part of the system to change the system. Certain things can be changed while standing in the background, like the meat, dairy, and egg industries. We can just choose to stop supporting them right now. But medication is not that easy like that. It is more nuanced because human life, people are taking it in a life and death situation. So I cannot completely not acknowledge the human struggle there either. And even when it comes to meat, dairy, and eggs, I'm telling you, I want us privileged folks to change. I am not going to the slums of Dharavi in Mumbai and holding a placard saying going vegan. So even there, yes, human life is equal to animal life, but then again, we also have to ask this question: how do we make progress? If I say now it's equal, therefore everybody who cannot become vegan commits suicide, am I making progress? I'm not.
Right.
As much as I do say, yes, human life and animal life is equal, I also have to find ways to implement that. And that is what's happening.
Yes.
The current system is so messed up. We vegans are doing the best we can. Just because we're not able to offer a solution to everything, like I told you, if you are a firefighter and you could rescue among 50 people only 35, you would still rescue them. No firefighter on earth will say, I can't rescue. What about those 15 who are burned to death? If I can't save them, why should I save the rest? No, that's nonsense. It's an appeal to futility fallacy. So what you're engaging in is an appeal. If you're saying to me, it's some kind of a logical dilemma, it's not a dilemma, it's a fallacy. It is else you should be able to give me a similar example in another context where that same logic works. When I give you examples like that about paying taxes, you're like, crap. Like, you don't have an answer for that, right? You don't. That's the whole point. But my point I can ask you is this: human life, animal life, equal in terms of value or not in human society, according to Arpit?
Yeah, I think we can
logically.
Yes, I think logically we can start with this thing and try to change the thing in the long run.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, we are equal for a simple reason. Have you heard of this word called sentience? SENTIENCE. It means an organism that has a consciousness, that can feel pain and suffering, love and joy and emotions like us human beings, and they are self-aware of this world and where they live in. That is a conscious, sentient creature. All the animals that we exploit are sentient creatures.
Not all.
Are you talking about jellyfish and bivalves, clams and oysters, you mean? Or insects? What are you talking about exactly?
Yeah.
When you come to insects, okay, fine. Let's leave the insects aside then.
I think that's
All the vertebrates, animals. Then.
yeah.
All the vertebrates, you
yes.
agree. They are completely on sentience, they come to us. So, when they feel just as much pain and suffering as us, and when they value their lives just as much as we value our lives, we literally don't have a reason to do this to them. That you better, I say, look, that's why I'm saying killing of a human is the same as killing of an animal. Because what is the bloody difference between us that makes humans superior? Like, is there any particular quality you find in a human that you think makes the human life suddenly superior to an animal life? Who are also vertebrates, is my point. We'll come to the invertebrates later. That's a fair biological distinction there, yeah.
No, I think if there is a way to live, if I can live without hurting others, then why don't?
There you go, folks. I'm not ending it saying that is the whole point.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm coming at. And that is where veganism is right now. And veganism, the points you bring up saying that vegans are imperfect, I'll agree to all of them. I want to let you know, we're already working on some problems. Some problems cannot be worked on right now. Like right now, you cannot expect me to hold a placard saying, please don't kill the insects when you, that doesn't work right now. When you first of all, you can't even make people empathize with a buffalo or a cow or a pig. They're not going to empathize with insects, okay? So certain things are happening right now, like fight against animal testing. Certain things that are systemic right now will happen once we have more vegans. Once we vegans grow in number, you think we're going to stay silent on the other issues? But first we have to grow. There has to be more of us.
Yes.
So, and us right now, if you ever find any inconsistency with us, it's not because our logic is inconsistent. It's because the current system allows us to only fight so much. We are trapped in a system. And we are doing the best we can in the system.
Yeah.
And that is the whole vegan message, my friend. That's where we're coming at. So we probably will be wrapping it up right now in some time. We've been speaking for more than 2 hours. I don't know how many people are watching it right now still when we upload this. But just a direct question to you. Do you understand the importance of veganism? Like when we consume meat, if you do agree that human life is equal to animal life, I don't know if you do agree, but if you do agree, you do understand that we are taking part in a very, very immoral action every time we choose to consume meat, dairy, and eggs. Do you?
Yeah.
It's by immoral, I mean like, we can put tiers here. Tier 1, someone today spoke a very bad word in front of my face and it hurt my feelings. That is tier 1. Tier 2 is Someone punched me in the face. I punched them back. We went back and forth, a little bit of yelling, swearing. Both got took to the police station. Both were put in remand for just 12 hours. Then get sent out. Tier 2. Tier 3. Someone is trying to effing kill me. Someone is trying to pour acid in my family's face. Some terrorist wants me to either convert to his religion or he'll shoot me in the head. In which tier do you put meat, dairy, and eggs? The first, second, or third?
Third, obviously.
That's freaking beyond insane, the violence happening there.
Yeah.
So I hope you understand the level of wrongness. When we say wrong, many things are wrong, right?
Yes.
Insulting someone is wrong. I shouldn't be just randomly insulting you. But that's different from killing you. If you had to pick, you will say, you know what, insult me any day, bro. Just don't harm me physically. We'll all pick that.
Actually, this has all become a culture. When the thing becomes a culture, it's difficult to see the wrong things.
But there are rational individuals like yourself who can see beyond culture, who can see beyond social programming. And we vegans want you to. We vegans want you on our side. I want you to understand that there is no logical counter argument to veganism. Do you think there is? If you do think this, present it for me. Do you think there's a logical counter?
No. I never said that veganism, I have a counter argument for veganism. No.
You know.
The only concern which I shared you earlier also, that if we go for a vegan movement, the problem I face, and that is actually, I actually experienced that thing is happening. It happened to me also, and I see those people, those are having this kind of things also. So that is the issue which I see, because there are lots of emotional appeal, and the information which required to become a vegan is less available, or if I say that it's available, but people don't want to see that. They're going
both.
In the flow of emotion.
It's both, yeah.
And also there is also a problem, because in terms of India, we see there is a problem of communalism, and also the casteism also. There is. And there I see people, and once I was also involved in that, and I have no problem committing that also, that in the 2014, where this government came into the power, and the wave of nationalism going on, and that wave also hit me, and at that time I was also little communal at that time. And मैंने क्या देखा कि जो some certain communities हैं, और वो बहुत ज़्यादा क्रूएलिटी कर रही हैं, और वो उनको उसी तरह से वो एडवर्टाइज भी करते हैं कि देखो ये कितने क्रूअल हैं, ये लोग एनिमल को खाते हैं, और देयर इज़ अ फेस्टिवल ऑल्सो वेयर दे स्लॉटर एनिमल. और वो चीज़ मुझे भी उस समय पर ना बहुत ज़्यादा अंदर आउटरीच पैदा करती थी कि यार ये बड़े क्रूअल लोग हैं. एंड उस टाइम पर मैं वीगन भी हो गया था. एंड देन आई सी दैट वो चीज़ कहीं ना कहीं मुझे एक रीज़न दे रही है उसको जस्टिफाई करने के लिए कि यार ये जो कम्युनिटी है ना, ये बहुत क्रूअल है, एंड मुझे इनको कंडेम करना है, मेरे को इनको बैश करना है जो एवरी पॉसिबल वे. और देयर आर लॉट्स ऑफ पीपल हु डू दिस फॉर दिस. मतलब मैं आपको बताऊं, नाम तो नहीं लूँगा, एक बहुत अच्छे राइटर हैं और बहुत सारी बुक उनकी पब्लिश हुई हैं, और बहुत इंटेलेक्चुअल, इज़ अ वेरी इंटेलेक्चुअल पर्सन. एंड एक एक्सीडेंट हुआ था आई थिंक मक्का में, वेयर सम पीपल गॉट किल्ड, और उन्होंने पोस्ट किया कि अल्लाह को प्यारी है कुर्बानी. बट एंड ही इज़ लाफिंग ऑन दैट इंसिडेंट कि यार तुम जानवरों को कुर्बान करते हो ना, अब देखो तुम्हारे साथ ये हो गया. तो मुझे लगता है कि जो हेट्रेड है ना, कुछ लोगों के लिए एक रीज़न बन जाता है कि व्हेन दे टर्न वीगन एंड दे थिंक नाउ दे आर हैव राइट टू बेस्ट दैट community. And there is also people I see which justify casteism in terms of that because someone is eating meat, we cannot share food with them or eat in their house. Or
but are they vegans or vegetarians, the casteist people?
No, they are obviously vegetarian, but let me complete. And from them also they are turning into vegan, so that they can continue that thing also, because now they know that if you are consuming dairy, then you are also doing that thing. So that thing give them a justification. So now they are in a safe zone. Now they can attack them.
So let me respond on that. again, once again, I acknowledge everything you say. I don't think anything you say is false or wrong. There are different kinds of people in this world, and I'm never going to say that vegan means they're superior, vegan means they're angels, vegan means they're perfect. Humans are humans. There are good humans and there are bad humans. There are humans, the kind of discrimination we talk about is called as speciesism. Heard of it? It's about differentiating based on species. There can be people who are vegan and are racist, people who are vegan and are casteist, and they are hypocrites. In the exact same way, there are people who are against casteism and racism, but they eat meat, dairy, and eggs. I want to say both sides, hypocrites exist, which is why I respect and support human rights activists as well. I am not saying animal rights is the only thing we have to speak about. There are multiple problems, and if you by any chance find anyone in the vegan community behaving in a casteist, misogynistic, racist, or any kind of discriminatory way, call it out. Such behavior is never justified. I completely agree with you. And there are people who do that. The way I promote veganism is not by targeting any particular group. I target human beings. I talk to people. Anyone who wants to hear my message can hear my message. If you don't want to hear my message, don't hear my message. But if you consume meat, dairy, eggs or honey, wear leather, wool or silk, go to zoo or circus, use cosmetics, tested on animals, any of those things, I'm putting you all in the same category. I'm not going to say because one person eats one type of meat, it's more cruel. Because one person consumes only dairy food, it's less cruel. You are either an animal exploiter or you're not an animal exploiter. There are only two categories here for veganism. Now, if there's a vegan who apparently wants to create a third category to validate themselves and feel better than others, they're wrong. Can I stop them? I don't know. I also can't stop people. I can't force anyone to do anything. But yes, they exist. I acknowledge that. And they are wrong. But that's not what I do. I do agree with you. Yeah, they exist. And by all means, if such things are happening, anybody sees this, call that out. That's very wrong. I am not going to be a vegan. I won't say, oh, just because he's vegan, now he can do what. No. Discrimination is always wrong. We must never engage in it.
Actually, I engaged with them and told them that you are doing this is wrong. The veganism you are following, no problem. But don't do this thing. But they are not understanding. They are saying, हम एनिमल्स को अपने बच्चों की तरह मानते हैं और वो लोग रिचुअल के नाम पर एनिमल्स को किल करते हैं, तो हमारे लिए तो वो मर जाए तो हमें कोई उनको फर्क नहीं पड़ता है.
See, I understand their anger and frustration, and you have to understand that not everyone comes from the same mindset, in the sense that I am trying to approach this issue. I was also like that. I'm saying. In fact, I can even say I am like that. Okay. I don't go around making such sweeping statements. But in my heart of hearts, I think human beings are a curse to earth. Okay?
Yeah.
Not based on caste or community though, or religion. The species, I'm saying, humans, all of us collectively are a curse to earth. I too have a hatred for human beings. It's called misanthropy. But I have a hatred for human beings, not for any particular religion, group or caste. People who are like that, they don't... However, I am involved in this movement to help create a better world for animals. And if I want to spread this message of veganism, I can't be going around speaking in a hateful, discriminatory way where I, put down other groups to lift my message up. I refuse to do that. I won't do that. But there are other people who do that because their aim is not necessarily to bring the vegan movement up. It is just in that moment they feel anger, they want to share it. And unfortunately, that creates a negative image about vegans in general. It's an issue you face in any group, not just vegans. You can find that even among rationalists or atheist group, you can find some idiot who will say something stupid. It's there in every
I don't know why. मेरे साथ ही इतने लोग ऐसे मेरे को क्यों टकराते हैं, मेरे को समझ मतलब आप का मैंने पेज देखा, I saw your videos and I think you are doing perfectly. I don't find anything in your statements which जिससे मुझे कुछ प्रॉब्लम हुई हो कि यार ये जो है बंदा अच्छा काम कर रहा है, मतलब मेरे को ये लगा. लेकिन अभी तक जितने लोग मेरे को टकराए हैं और जो या तो मेरे जहाँ मैं रहता हूँ या जो लोग मेरे आसपास, वो मतलब वेगनिज्म के नाम पर मतलब क्या क्या कर रहे हैं, वो चीज़ मतलब मुझे लगता है कि यार ये एक गलत ही हो रहा है. ये उस मैसेज को ही नहीं समझ रहे, ये पता नहीं क्या ही कर रहे हैं.
They're there. I agree. I'm not denying you. Yeah, they exist. What to do? See, I can only be myself. I can continue speaking out the truth. I can speak honestly. But just like how I cannot force someone who eats meat, dairy, and eggs to give up, I can't force other vegans also. I can condemn. I can say this is right, this is wrong. But what more can I do? Which is why I'm saying we need more rational-minded, level-headed people in the vegan movement. I'm repeatedly saying that. I'm inviting you, the golden platter. Please come this side. Please be a vegan. Like, I've explained everything to you in detail enough. Even whatever questions you had regarding, like, maybe it's flawed because they do take part in animal testing and stuff. I pointed out the logical fallacies. I explained everything to you. From my side, again, I would say I've educated you on all the possible nuances that are there. And every single point you brought up to me, if that you felt was valid, did you ever feel me invalidate that point? Or did you ever feel like this guy saying, no, what Arpit is saying is not important, no, let's leave that. I'm not saying that. Because you also bring up valid points. And there is a lot of problem within the vegan community, as there is problems within every community.
Yeah, but I think we have to address that problems as well.
By all means, yeah, do it. I'm not saying it's wrong. Please do it. But all I'm saying is every point you bring up is valid. But I'm just saying that these, however, should not be used as a deterrent or an excuse to the public to say, because such people exist in the vegan community, I will not be a vegan myself. That means you're saying, because there are people in the community that are not good, you will continue harming animals? That makes no sense. Yeah.
Fair.
But your points are acknowledged, and yes, they are valid. I am not. As someone who's a very big voice in this movement, I'm acknowledging everything you say. Yeah, it's true. And we should never tolerate such kind of behavior, be it from vegans or from... It doesn't matter if they're vegan or not. Discriminatory behavior should never be tolerated from anybody.
If you are being kind to animal, but you are hating fellow humans, then I think this is wrong.
I hate humans, Arpit. I hate humans, but I will never behave in a discriminatory manner.
No, you hate because you see that there are lots of wrong things are happening.
Yeah, the way they treat animals, the way we treat each other.
Yeah, that is thing. But if some people die in accident and you find out that those are non-vegetarian, then you will happy then?
No, man, I don't think I will. See, I don't think I will get happiness from seeing someone suffering and dying, be it who they are. But no, the answer is no, man. I will not. I don't think.
I think.
I don't think I'm capable. I'll tell you for a simple reason. As a guy who's compassionate to animals, even if I don't like this person or something, there is no happiness for me in seeing someone suffer. Like,
yes,
where's the happiness in that? Like, I can say, you know what? Okay, I can even go as far as saying this statement if you want. The greatest thing most humans will do to animals in this world is the day they die. Because when they die, finally they stop harming these animals. Okay, I will even go as far as saying that. But expecting me to get happiness from it is, why? It doesn't make any sense. Why will I feel happy? Why will I feel happy from someone suffering?
This is the thing which this is the message I want to deliver. Those who are vegans, please understand. You see people torturing animals and you start hitting them. It's okay. ठीक है, समझ में आता है कि वो आप एनिमल्स को प्यार करते हो और अगर उस लोगों की वजह से उनको हार्म पहुंच रहा है, उनको टॉर्चर हो रहा है, आपको हर्ट हो रहा है, वो कंप्लीटली समझ में आता है वो बात. लेकिन क्या उसकी वजह से आप इंसानों से इतना नफरत करने लग जाओगे कि वो अगर आप मतलब सोचोगे कि यार इनका कुछ हार्म हो जाए या ये मर जाएं या इनको हम कत्ल कर दें?
But would you agree with this statement, Arpit? The words that vegans say are less harmful than the actions that non-vegans do. Would you agree with this statement?
Yes, of course.
So you have every right to condemn vegans who make such statements, but would you also condemn non-vegans with the same ferocity? Is what I'm asking.
Yes. Yeah, definitely.
You're not a vegan yourself. What do you mean? How do you mean you condemn non-vegans with the same ferocity when you're not a vegan yourself? What does that even mean?
I said I will try my best to do. I will try again. I will and if it works, I have no problem. I tried before and I can try again also.
So it's not just about trying, it's about making it work. For example, I was born with the medical condition since I was born. It's called as IBS, irritable bowel syndrome. It's a syndrome that I have since I'm a child. Now, as a vegan, there are certain times where it becomes more difficult for me because of that syndrome. Sometimes it becomes easier for me because of syndrome. Regardless, I never let that affect the fact that I'm still eating only plant-based food and being a vegan. Because whatever struggles I have to go through are ultimately less than what the animal has to go through. And again, I want to just circle back to that one question. You are right in saying that vegans are sometimes being hateful to people. But you understand that meat, dairy, and egg eaters are being extremely hateful towards animals. And that hatred is a even far more violent hatred than what vegans can. Whatever words I say, bro, at the end of the day, someone can choose to listen or not listen. They can choose to not care. But if someone puts a knife in someone's throat, you have to care. That you're sticking a knife in my throat, it's okay, I don't care. No, you care. You're bleeding out. You're going to die right now. I will again repeat, the actions that non-vegans do are 1,000,000 times worse than any hurtful words a vegan can ever say. And I will stand by that statement. And it's not me being biased towards my community. It is me being truthful, because one group is engaging in hatred through words, another group is slashing someone who's alive. And that violence, physical violence, is far worse than the words.
Yes. Yeah.
And when you condemn vegans like that, as a vegan myself, I will agree with you, because I want to be fair to all groups, not just animals. Okay. But I hope you will condemn then, including yourself if you're not a vegan, with the same level. Because when you say you will try, when you ask those vegans to stop doing that, do you want them to say, I will try to stop being hateful? Or no, you're right, I'll stop being hateful.
Yeah.
So you also...
Because until I try and I think it's got success, I'm successfully become vegan with no problem, then I can say yes, of course. But before that, I will only say that I can try before that.
Okay, you can make it work. What I will say to you is, in case you have any issues, means you have my Instagram ID. Reach out to me anytime. I'll even connect you for free with a plant-based medical certified nutritionist. I'll connect you with plant-based certified proper scientific people. I'm not going to take you to some quack. Okay, certified nutritionists, certified doctors. A plant-based diet, we have enough evidence showing that it will work with appropriate supplementation, B12 and vitamin D especially. Even for omega-3, again, you can see my video. If you see that thing, you will know everything. That will solve. I wish that video was there when you first became vegan, bro. It might have helped you. Might have helped me also, that video back then. So you can watch that video. But if you truly understand, when I said wrong, there are 3 tiers. The level of wrong you're doing, there's no try involved. Have you seen a show called Star Wars? No? Have you heard of Star Wars though?
Yes.
There's a character in that called Yoda. He has a saying, do or don't do. There is no try. I think that applies here for veganism. Be a vegan. Or say, you know what? F the animals. Let them burn in hell. I don't care. Try being vegan is not a fair statement. You know what? Oh shit, that's happening to the animals. That's so wrong. No. I will be a vegan, Arvind. I will make it work. I will make it work.
Okay, there is one concern also came in mind. If we say that in a situation where we can save humans or we can save some animals, what would you prefer to do?
Me personally?
Yeah.
Or who are the humans? I'll ask first. Who are the humans is what I'll ask. Are they vegans?
Maybe not.
I prefer to save the animals.
Okay.
My choice. What do you prefer?
I think, I don't know if there are a logical fallacy or not. I have to think about it.
No, but this is more of a personal choice.
Or a logical dilemma. I don't know. But I prefer to save humans.
Okay, but from a logical perspective, you want to approach it. If you view speciesism as the same evil as racism, casteism, misogynistic behavior and stuff, if we had here, say, 5 animals and 5 people who are complete misogynistic asses, let them die, the misogynists. Who cares? They'll come back to life and only make a life a living hell for other human beings, right? Or are we saying that an animal's life is so low in value that it's apparently lower than a human being who's a scumbag?
And those people are scientists or may say great minds of the century. Would you let them die? But they are not vegan.
Yeah, I would. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You might consider me crazy, but for me, you might ask, but wait, Arvind, if animal life and human life are equal, why do you make this distinction? You might have the right to ask me that right now. The reason is because when these people are going to continue surviving, they're just going to cause more hell on earth for animals. If it is up to me now, I will never go out there and harm anybody. Mind you, I am not going to go out there and ever harm a human being or an animal unless it's self-defense. If a human attacks me, I'm fighting back. If an animal attacks me, I'm fighting back. And I will never draw the first punch. But if you put in the hypothetical scenario, you put me, I don't think human life is special. In fact, I think human life is unspecial, especially when the human refuses to acknowledge. And notice one thing, I'm not just talking about veganism right now. The other example I gave was misogyny. I'll also give an example of racism and casteism. people who engage in discriminatory behaviors towards other human beings or other animals, if there's a choice between them and innocent animals, innocent animals always win. Human life is not that valuable, Arpit, especially when the human happens to be violent and unwilling to acknowledge their privilege and unwilling to make an effort to change and create a better world. What kind of human are they? You tell me.
Okay. And if one day the whole humanity wiped out, so what do you think? You will be happy?
Bro, if I could press a button right now to wipe us out or make an asteroid hit Earth, I'll press it right now. The amount of suffering happening on Earth because of us humans, the stupid species, is unbelievable. The amount of pain and suffering we're giving to these animals is beyond imagination. Therefore, yes, I would wipe us out. We are scum of the earth. You choose to say, you think humans are good, really? I am a human. You're a human. We're the same species. But our species is crap, bro. What do? We kill each other. We beat up each other. We have no respect for each other. We kill other species. We pollute the earth. If we remove humans, air pollution solved. Water pollution solved. Everything is solved. We are the parasite on earth. If any other organism had its population increase to our level and do the level of damage we do, we'll call it as a parasite, an infestation. That's what we are. And I'm not saying vegans are perfect or a vegan world is perfect, but when you're vegan, you're making a drastic difference. At least where and all that first degree premeditated exploitation of animals is happening, solving it immediately. Vegans are not perfect, but it's far, 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 far better than what we're doing right now. It's the difference between you and a serial killer. Your life and your existence on earth harms other humans also. We have no control over that. But you are not a serial killer, Arpit. A serial killer is a psychopath who's killing others for fun. Most people on planet Earth eat meat, dairy, and eggs because it tastes good. Not for nutrition necessarily. We can get nutritional B vitamins.
I think it's more of a cultural thing.
And culture is not necessarily based on logic.
Yeah.
We just feast.
They don't do it consciously. They don't do it like they want to torture animal. They're doing this culturally.
True. But then there comes a point where we have to be accountable for our actions. We have to take accountability. And when I bring it up accountability, they just get mad at me and yell at me and curse me. That's what makes me have this feeling towards human beings. Again, in my activism, you never see any kind of hatred. Since you asked me these questions, I'm giving you the answer. I do not go to any school and college and speak this way. But if you, like I told you, you can always ask me anything. I'll always be honest with my answers with you. But that's not how I promote veganism. When I promote, I'm not like, oh, humans should die. No. I'm like, hey, this is what's happening to animals. Please think about it. Educate yourself properly. That's my message.
Yeah.
Now, you have any questions or what do you see? You have anything else left to ask in particular?
Yeah, I think it's...
You have wrapped up pretty much everything.
Yeah,
okay. Before we wrap things up, I want to ask one request of you. This will just take 5 minutes. I have brought with me here a video today. And I would request of you to watch that video. Now, before you watch it, I have to give a warning to you. That video contains footage showing of what happens to animals in the meat, dairy, and egg industries.
I cannot.
Hold on. Yeah, I'm not forcing you. What I'm going to say is that when you start playing it, if you're uncomfortable, feel free to close the laptop anytime you want.
No,
you don't even want to.
I don't know. I watched before and that made me so uncomfortable and my days are gone. I disturb for days. No.
Okay, fair enough. I'm not here to compel you on that. It's just an option for you. But if you're unwilling to even watch what they go through, you have to be a vegan the moment you step out of this door, bro. You cannot, you're a kind-hearted person. You cannot even watch what's happening to them. Imagine how they'll feel enduring that every single day.
Yeah.
And cows and buffaloes, you're a vegetarian, so cows and buffaloes are literally forcefully made pregnant, have their babies taken from them. How much pain that mother will feel, the same pain that a human mother feels when the child is taken away. And then they're not even just killed like that. Again, the next year they're made pregnant. They're tortured that same way. Like even an animal like a chicken who was alive for only 45 days and then they are killed, that is 45 days of suffering. Cows and buffaloes and dairy farms suffer for years and years and years and years. And finally, when they can no longer produce milk, we take a hammer and smash it on their head and we cut their throat. You know what happens?
Yeah, I know.
If you are soft-hearted, which is a wonderful trait in a human being, by the way, most men will be like, show the video. I'll watch it and laugh. That's the attitude many men have. I'll call you manlier for saying you don't want to watch it because you know how horrible it is.
It's disturbing, very disturbing.
then please be a vegan, because anything else would be, from a rational perspective, a complete contradiction. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
Again, I can force you.
Yeah.
Just educate you.
No, I completely understand.
Well, guys, that was episode 1. I did not think it was going to go to almost 3 hours long. I expected a max of only 90 minutes. But thank you so much, Arpit, for coming. I must praise you because you know how many people I invited?
Yeah.
You know how many people actually have spoken about me on the internet? I invited them. I told them I'll pay them money to come and talk to me. They don't show up. But you came. I want to say thank you for your time. You are actually, if I haven't said before, he is a big personality. He has so many followers, and when he makes a video, he gets like way more likes and views than I do. At least on YouTube you do. So thank you for even coming here, first of all. Because of you, your audience will now watch this video and they'll learn more. Thank you for your presence, Arpit. I really appreciate it. And my only thing is to everybody watching is, please be vegan. Yeah, I think you want to say something?
Please, and I must recommend that 90-minute long video. Please watch it. Please. Before going vegan, please watch it and watch everything and note it down and apply it to your diet. And that is very important. Don't flow in emotion. No, somebody is becoming vegan and you're also throwing out that animal product which you're consuming, and you're thinking that you will be all fine. No, it's not gonna happen. Please understand this thing. And don't be hateful or feel superior. I'm become vegan, then I'm become superior, and I can start bashing other fellow humans and think that these communities or those sects and those castes are inferior to become inferior to you, and you'll become somehow superior. No, this is not. Be humble. If you are kind to animals, please be kind to humans also. Those who are doing this for cultural thing, they don't have understanding what they are doing. Please make them understand. Like you became aware of this thing. Maybe they also become aware of that thing also. This is the thing we have to do. And I think this, if you look at the human history, this is happening from the history. There are times where we make human slaves. And we do lots of wrong things. And slowly our philosophy of life improved, and we said, no, this is the wrong thing to do. We cannot make someone slave. So the philosophy is continuously improving, and it will keep improve. Today we are talking about animal cruelty. Maybe in future, like Arvind is saying that human life is equal to animal life. Maybe in some future time we consider this, that no, if we cannot kill a human, we should not kill an animal also. So it takes time. So don't be hateful. Be try to understand things and try to understand others also.
So as a vegan animal rights activist, I agree with 99% of every single statement you said right now. I agree with almost everything. The only thing I disagree is when you said if you are kind to animals, then you also have to be kind to humans. No. Don't be hateful to humans, though. That's the difference. You don't have to necessarily be kind to people. If I'm an angry person, I'm an angry person. I'm not kind. But I will never be discriminatory or a casteist or a racist. I will never behave in that way. That we should never be hateful to them. Agreed. Apart from that, like you said, please watch the 90-minute video, guys. I approve of everything else you said, bro. I hope you will be a vegan. Nice talking to you.
Same.
Take care. Yeah.